What's up, Global Solidarity Now? March 6th, Valor Media Network. Dropkick Murphys will perform a free acoustic memorial concert in Minneapolis. March 6th? Really? Hold on. I didn't know that. Abolish ICE Live. Amazing. Hold on. March 6th, what did you say? Dropkick? Yeah, because I know they're usually at around Boston, around St. Patty's Day. Um, First Avenue event. Here we go. Minnesota Monthly. Dropkick Murphys free Alex Preddy Memorial Concert. Thank you for that information, Global Solidarity. Now I appreciate that. I did not know that. Let's get the word out. Dropkick Murphys free Alex Preddy Memorial Concert to stream online. Ooh, and they're streaming it online. Fans who can't make it to Minneapolis on March 6th will still be able to take part in Dropkick Murphys' free benefit concert honoring Alex Preddy. The Boston-based Celtic punk band, you could just say Irish punk, I don't know, all right, whatever, announced earlier this week that it will perform a free acoustic set in the parking lot of the Black Forest Inn, across the street from the Alex Preddy Memorial, ahead of its sold-out show that evening at the Palace Theater. Oh, that's cool. So they're playing at the Palace Theater March 6th, but they're doing a free acoustic set in the parking lot. And if you haven't seen Dropkick Murphys acoustic, excellent, excellent. Ken and the boys. Ken always says he didn't know if he had the voice to do it, and it's tough, but Ken has an amazing, amazing Irish voice. And if you want to see, I'm sorry, I forget the song. If you go to my channel and just the videos tab, I have them playing acoustic Walk On. The song Walk On, Dropkick Murphys playing acoustic when I was in studio with them, when I had them in the studio. So if you want to see that. President Raygun, what's up? Sir Rob of the Hood. That is a very proper way to say the name. Sir Rob of the Hood. We are all brothers of the hood and sisters. Jess, no one is safe, but you can and should use your Second Amendment to be safer. 100%. Just look at times throughout history. Deacons of Defense, the Black Panthers, the Revolutionary War movement. I don't know if there's a movement. The Sons of Liberty. I'm trying to think what else. Anyway, the rest is escaping me. I was just thinking of something else. But yeah. Actually, Jess, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Because we'll start out the live. What's up? I'm Rob with an Asada Shakur, which I love this. My daughter was talking to me about Asada Shakur the other day, and I love that at the young age my kids are, they can tell me about Asada Shakur. So nobody in the world, nobody in history has ever gotten their freedom by appealing to the moral senses of the people who were oppressing them. And oddly enough, when I originally seen this quote on Twitter, someone was like, "You need to read more history. What about MLK and the early Christians?" And immediately I responded to them. I was like, "You fucking moron. Do you know about the early Christians and MLK and how their lives ended?" Nobody was like, we should stop oppressing these people. They were all murked. like maybe you should finish your history books. So yes, Jess, thank you. Let's say what's up to some more people. Hello, Rob. Interesting piece of art. Oh, thank you. We'll pull this down so you can see the art. Nobody in the world, nobody in history has ever gotten their freedom by appealing to the moral senses of the people who were oppressing them. Asada Shakur, rest easy. Queen, absolute queen. Goddess. Tarush, of course I remember you. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Where you been? How have you been? You safe? You good? OMG, IDCFR, what's up? Oh, sorry, Tarush. Yes, I'm seeing this twice now. Is that Tupac's mom? No, Michael Wardwell. Funny enough, that's what my daughter said too. She goes, "Isn't Asada Tupac's mom?" And I said, "God damn it, I raised my children wrong." No. Afeni Shakur is Tupac's mom, but at the time in the Black Panther movement, I forget what his name was. There was a big, I don't know if he was an imam or what, but he was big in the Black Panther movement, and his last name was Shakur. So many people took that last name. So Assata, not Tupac's mom. Afeni is Tupac's mom, and you should read Afeni's books. Read stories about her. Jacobin magazine. I still have the magazine. I saved that one. Oh no, I save all my Jacobin. But Jacobin did a excellent expose on Afeni Shakur, the Panther 21, how while she was pregnant with Tupac, she was imprisoned. It was a COINTEL program, espionage, infiltration, and she represented herself. Was that called pro se? I forget, but she represented herself as a lawyer, and she won against the state of New York. So when they were I think I'm missing some of the comments. You gonna fight? You gotta fight for every right you have. You gotta sing that to the Beastie Boys. They should redo their song, "Fight for Your Right to Have Rights." Michael, I was gonna ask the same thing. What is Michael asking? Oh, okay. Hello, everyone. What's up, Thorn? Edward, good to see you. When they were searching for Assata to arrest her, what is that a comment to? Sorry. Mr. Killjoy 420. So yeah, in some real way, Christians appealing to the morals of their assailants did eventually win them their freedom. Well, if you're talking about early Christians, essentially, but here's the thing, I'll just disagree with that because Rome co-opted Christianity to continue its empire in a different facet. That's what we see today. That's what the Pope is. It's the Roman Emperor of Catholicism. That's all it is. So I don't want to go we got so much news to get into. I can't get deep into the words. But the early Christians were like crucified upside down, fed to lions, the most heinous ways you could die, and records show that most of them welcomed it. So they weren't appealing to the moral senses. They were just like, I know what's on the other side of this, and I'm willing to. So it did win some people over, but ultimately, you just got Roman Catholicism that co-opted it to keep a grasp on the empire. What's up, Jessica Starr? Good to see you. Tarush, he already said he remembers you. Tarush said hi. What's up, Tarush? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Again, are you staying safe? Are you okay? How's life? Haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you. Silverado. Is that like a Silverado? What do you think about their Iran shit going on? We're going to get into it. I think it's a fucking mess. What sign of the blood moon does it give us? Oh, you know what's horrible, Rob Mack? I was so excited for the blood moon. So fucking excited. If you don't know, look up what time you'll be able to see it. Here in New England, I think it was at like 3:44 a.m. But it turns out we got a March snowstorm. So we already got like 2 inches outside. I can't deal with snow in March and April. I just can't deal with it. It's beautiful in December and January. It's miserable in February, and it's skin peeling in March. So who was that said something about the blood moon? Sorry, the chat's going. Rob Mack. Is that Rob McElhaney? We got to get Charlie in here from Always Sunny. But yeah, the blood moon is upon us, dear friends. The blood moon. Silverado. We're going to get into the Iran stuff. What it sums up, university healthcare for all. Big Firth, that's almost funnier. Everybody gets university healthcare. Universal, yes, 100%. Hey, to talk about the 90s again. Oh, yeah, let's talk about the 90s. We always diverge into the 90s, let's face it. Oh, speaking of that. Actually, who said that? Sorry. Refab 2026. I'm going to give you a little bit of what you want. Okay, this is the new grunge. This is Worms by BUNKBED COFFIN. But more importantly, I found a gem online today. A gem. If you experienced the 90s, there was no other moment in time like it. It was historic. And there was this one brief blink of an eye that happened where Nirvana played on Saturday Night Live, and Chris Farley and Kurt Cobain stood on stage together. What I would have given to be there. Two of my favorites, Chris Farley, Kurt Cobain, and I found photos of it. So speaking of the 90s, there's Chris Farley. You remember him from, hold on. Oh my God, this fucking, listen, if you can, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, because I can't tolerate all this free stuff. This free stuff is killing me, man. It's killing me. Well, Lordy frickin' God! And there's Kurt behind him, and there's Chris and Kurt. But I forgot. I like to open the show with a little bit of music so I can say what's up to people. This is Bunk Bed Coffin. Worms. Oh, I like that. Silverado. That's cool. Tommy Boy. Yeah. Tommy Boy, Black Sheep. Most of it was a blur. Who remembers the music? What's up, Ebony Chainsaw? How are you? Tommy Boy, one of the absolute classics of all time. You remember Laserdiscs. Alright, we're gonna get into a ton of stuff. Old Hunter S. 90s were his heyday too, man. I mean, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. Love Rage. That's awesome. Desolation Axiom. Chris Farley fueled my humor throughout school, even though he died when I was 2. That you had amazing parents then, or older brothers or siblings. Everybody should know about Chris Farley. Us vs. Them. I played them on here. I've been writing them. I asked them for permission to play one of their songs. I love Us vs. Them. Check them out. Check out Stand Your Ground. They just released it, not on YouTube, but streaming. Tell me not to try. Tell me I'm disposable. Seen in Burbank. Don't forget, I know World War Epstein is going on. ICE is still in our streets. You know, the Epstein army. We're not done being under siege as American citizens, so you can annoy them. You can put sand in the cogs of the machinery. This is how it is. Tell me I'm disposable. This is how it is. This is how it is. Tell me I'm disposable. Tell me I'm disposable. Tell me I'm disposable. The rich are disposable. I'm telling you. You eat one of them, and the rest will fall in line. Love you, Bunky. Thank you for letting us use your music, man. You're the best. Dylan loves Posh. Good evening, a good day, a good morrow to you, sir. And he says, evening to the chat. Cortland, I would never. I said you can slow the cogs of the fascist machinery. You're legally entitled to make mistakes in life. What are you, not human, you fucking nerd? Get out of here, bootlicker. Leave. Leave. Nobody likes you, not even ICE. They would easily suppress your voice if they could just get their mouth around that $50,000 bonus, which they'll never see. It was structured in a 5-year plan. Trump's only going to be here for 4, and that's if he makes it past that rash. Did you see that rash? What's up, Sarion? Good to see you. Good to see all my friends across the seas, whether you're in the UK, Netherlands, hopefully Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Finland. I haven't seen any people from Finland in here, but still, shout out to the Scandinavian countries, and shout out to everybody across the ocean, whether you're in Australia, Iran, wherever you're at, just trying to have peace in your life. Because remember, there's working class folks across the fucking globe. I want you to remember that. There are people that just have to wake up, go to work like you and I, so they could afford egg and come home and have egg with their family. I want everybody to remember that while this Epstein war rages on, you know? It's absolutely horrifying. Okay, we got a ton of stuff to get into. I don't know if you guys saw this. The military is now advising people that this is all part of God's divine plan, and President Trump has been anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran to cause Armageddon and mark his return to Earth. I mean, these people are just fucking rubes at this point. And we'll get into that. This was in Boston. War crimes don't hide crimes. No, they don't. But they're gonna do. Oh, Finland. You really from Finland? Come on. I haven't seen one person in here from Finland, but that's amazing if you are. Shout out Finland. The funniest thing about these Jesus warriors is none of them believe in Jesus. You think Donald Trump and the fucking military believes in Jesus? Give me a break. Here, I'll show you some of Jesus's writings, and then you tell me where it fits in. Here. I just want you, because here's Donald Trump's whole thing about Iran. He's like, they've been dangerous since the 70s, right? And I'm like, well, why didn't you campaign on that? Why weren't you saying this a couple of years ago? Being like, we gotta start another war. Like you should have been saying that, right? Don't say it now. Don't be Sally come lately to the party. Don't tell me about how dangerous it is now when this is the first we're hearing of it out of your mouth, the pro-pedo ticket. But what's really funny is like Donald Trump's like, I'm doing it to keep Americans safe. At the same time, he's saying like, hey, some of you gonna pass away, and that's a price I'm willing to. that's a cost. That's a price I'm willing to fucking pay for your kids to go. But the thing is when he says he wants to keep America safe, no, he doesn't. Not at any point. That's why the Epstein army, aka ICE, is boots on the ground, kicking in your door, violating your Fourth Amendment, American citizens in the street, deporting others, and putting others into labor camps, including children. So he doesn't give a rip, right? But if we just look at what Jesus said, Matthew 25:35. For I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, you invited me in. I needed clothes and you clothed me. I was sick and you looked after me. I was in prison and you came to visit me. Then the righteous will answer him, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? And when did we see a stranger invite you in, needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick and in prison and go visit you? And the king will reply, truly I tell you, whatever you did for the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. And remember, when he says mine, he means like all the people. All the people. So Donald Trump he don't live by this. He probably never even heard of this. He probably call it to Matthew. He's a fucking moron. But wait. Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that. Hold on. I gotta find where are we gonna start? We're gonna start with old Keg Seth. Old alcoholic Pete. Old Petey alcohol. Old Petey alcohol. Here's some audio of him calling a question, a typical liberal question, a typical CNN type.
I I heard the question about 4 weeks. It's the typical NBC sort of gotcha type question. President Trump has all the latitude in the world to talk about how long it may or may not take. 4 weeks, 2 weeks, 6 weeks.
20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 100 years. Who knows? We're hoping for Armageddon. That's what he should have said.
Weeks. It could move up. It could move back.
Remember, this is Pete Kegsath. He has neo-Nazi tattoos all over his body.
We're going to execute at his command the objectives we've set out to achieve. And what he has shown an ability to do that other presidents can't quite seem to have the aperture to do. I mean, Joe Biden didn't even know what he was doing, is to look.
The old, hey, Joe, at least it's not Joe Biden. Is everybody sick of that? Is everybody sick of hearing Joe Biden at this point? It's like, bro, we're years in, We're years in. At this point, he's going to blame not getting a third Reich on Joe Biden.
For opportunities and off-ramps and escalations for the United States that creates new opportunities to execute what we need on our own timeline. So you can play games about 4 weeks, 5 weeks. He has all.
Play games, bro. Like somebody said, this is a question that maybe the mothers and fathers of the troops would like to know. Like, how long are you planning to continue to engage in this war? Is this another 18-year war? Is this another generational war?
All the latitude, and I'm glad he does, because there's no better communicator than our president expressing those things. I've been in meetings with the president for the last 2.5 days. We know exactly where his headspace is, and he will communicate as he should exactly what he would like, and we will follow those orders. And I think everything he said on that is right down the middle.
Wait, what?
Is we know exactly where his headspace is, and he will do those things. I've been in meetings with the president for the last 2.5 days. We know exactly where his headspace is. And
you do? Let me play a clip of Donald Trump in his headspace. You tell me if you can figure this out. Hold on. Let me get a picture of who they worship real quick.
Finally, we honor one more American soldier, fallen warrior of world.
Of what?
Of wars.
Okay.
And really, a really terror.
A really terror. Great communicator. I think we know exactly where his head's at, right? Finally, I'm just playing you the audio. This is your president, not sleepy Joe Biden. This dude is on point. Ready? I don't know exactly what he's saying, but you try to decipher it.
Finally, we honor one more American soldier, fallen warrior of world. Of
world or of war?
Wars.
Wars. Of wars. A fallen soldier of wars. Not this war, just of wars. Typically how they honor a soldier. They say fallen soldier of world wars. Maybe this is subtly coded, him telling you we're at a world war. Here, I'll play it again. You tell me. I don't want to read too much into this.
Finally, we honor one more American soldier, fallen warrior of world. Of wars.
Of world of wars. Of world of the wars? Pete Hegseth said he's a great communicator and you know exactly where his head's at, but this one is really terror. This one's really terror. What would you say, Donald?
And really, a really terror.
A really terror. Yeah, I would say it's a really terror trying to figure that out, Okay, interesting. And if you think, just in case you got confused. Hold on. What's going on? Trump is a traitor. Of course he is. And if you don't believe he's a traitor, here. What's up, Primal Screams? Hold on. I didn't get to say hi to everybody. Smoking Blondie. Good to see you. Good to see you. War of the War. Maybe he was saying World of Warcrafts. Rob Mack. Maybe he was saying he is a fallen soldier of World Warcraft.
Finally, we honor one more American soldier, fallen warrior of world. Of wars.
Of world of wars.
Really, a really terror.
A really terror. I think Terra is a video game too. Terra. Really terror. Anyways, listen, today we honor a fallen soldier, like the president said, of world, of wars. And he was really terror. Really terror. Never forget. What the fuck is this dude talk? Who supports this fucking brain dump? Oh my God. But if you don't think he is an absolute traitor to Americans, listen to him being asked about why wasn't there an evacuation plan. Okay? Oh, this goddamn cat. I'll start it because it's a little lengthy. Well, we're gonna pause it.
Commercial air travel right now is severely restricted in May, and thousands of Americans are stranded. Why wasn't there an evacuation plan, and will you send planes to get people out?
Well, because it happened all very quickly. We thought, and I thought maybe more so than most, I could.
He thought more so than most. It didn't happen really quickly. Why do you think we kidnapped Venezuela's president and took their oil? Because they knew. Please don't step on that stuff. Oh, you did. You did, you jerk. You did. You did. You stepped right on it. Okay? I'm right here. Calm down. Hey, kitty. It's a Rob Mack. I think he was saying, let's honor this fallen soldier. He was a Nissan Xterra. I think it's a former Terra. Once you serve in the Nissan Army, it's a former Terra, not an Xterra. Okay, Kat, is this really how this live stream is going to go? Yeah, this is how it's going to go. Are you serious? I can't do this the whole time. I have stuff to do. Can you look over here? See? See, I can't just like hold you. What's up, Lady Wiser? A 4x4 war? It is a 4x4 war. He's playing 4x4 chess right now, guys. That's what you don't understand. Donald Epstein's best friend is playing 4x4 chess. What's up? Pazzo. AF. Yeah, this cat, it's not gonna leave me alone. And just so you know, this is a communist cat. It believes that we should live in a classless, stateless society. This cat is pressing so hard against my head right now. Stop. Can you just sit? Okay, I'm gonna try to do this. He can't even play checkers now. What's up, none your business? Let's not forget, he was exonerated. The man who ran Honduras was in jail for 45 years. He always exonerates his crony criminals. Yup. Yeah, he's been kind of hiding from the press. Or, you know what, Smoking Blondie, we're going to get to that audio too, where he did address the press, but then he talked like a bitch, because he moves like a bitch, in case you didn't know. Donald Trump said it himself.
I moved on her like a bitch.
And then he talked like a bitch about curtains. He picked out the curtains. He loves interior design. I don't get it, but whatever. All right.
You send planes to get people out.
And I thought maybe more so than most, I could ask Marco, but I thought we were going to.
I love how he always passes the buck. Like, dude, nobody moves in this regime without his okay. And I absolutely love that he's always like, well, I thought the most about it, but I could ask Marco. Why would you ask Marco if he didn't think the most about it? Isn't that what he said?
Well, because it happened all very quickly. We thought, and I thought maybe more so than most, I could.
He thought more so than most, but now he's going to say, even though he thought the most about it, this is really the truly incredible thing about breaking down this moron speak. Well, I thought the most about it. Oh, so why don't you answer the question? No, I'll pass it off to little Marco, who, didn't think as much as I did.
I could ask Marco, but I thought we were going to have a situation where we were going to be attacked. They were getting ready.
So if you thought that, why wouldn't you first, before, attacking Iran, the question, see, this is the brilliant thing about morons. They can distract you from even what question you asked. But if you just focus a little bit, when he's asked, why wasn't there an evacuation plan for Americans? He's like, well, I thought the most about it. We could ask Marco. But we thought we were going to get attacked. So that's why we didn't evacuate. Instead, we were like, booyah, gotcha first. No, bitch, if you think something's going down and you care about Americans, coming up with plans to get them out of there, because right now they're all in danger. And if you're an American in the Middle East, God bless you. You might be meeting God soon, because it's hectic over there. It's hectic over there. This Epstein army war rages on. And there is no plan to get anybody else. No one's flying. No one's moving, man. They're even disrupting the bomb shelters. It's just absolutely crazy that anyone thinks that this dude who never served in his life, doesn't care about, called John McCain a loser, right? Called John McCain a loser. You think he gives a rip about any American? This whole war, just so you know, this whole thing started because Ted Lieu went on TV and was like, there's evidence and allegations of Donald Trump raping children. And we know that Epstein is connected to Ehud Barak in Israel, and in the files that it said he was trained as a spy and that he has plenty tapes. Putin's got the tapes. Netanyahu, that's why Putin invaded Ukraine. He's like, all right, all right, don't show that tape of me blowing Bubba. Then Netanyahu just made a comment, the other day? Said, I've been waiting to do this to Iran for 40 years. How do you think he made it possible? Compromat on Donald Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, Trump. That's the whole reason all of this stuff is happening. Because anybody who's innocent will go, here's all the files. Read them. I've been exonerated. But he just says I've been exonerated while not releasing many interviews that survivors who allege he did gnarly ass stuff when they were young kids. He won't release those. He'll keep those hidden. But if you were innocent, you'd just be like, here's it all. But instead, we're dragged into World War Epstein. Unreal, man. All for this fucking dude's blackmail. His badass, fake ass tan. So yeah, so if you think, he wants to keep Americans safe or cares about Americans, you can just look at the little things. That's a key to life. If you're not very responsible with the little things, isn't that what the rich people always tell you? If you're buying avocado toast, that's why you're not buying a home. Yeah, because that makes sense. How much fucking toast does a home cost? Give me a break. But really, if you're not responsible, being truthful in the little things, being there, keeping your word in the little things, you're not going to be there for the big things. This dude is a pathological liar, and he's rotten from the inside out. You don't believe me? You don't believe me? What is this on this man's neck? Absolutely disgusting. It's like he got a vampire bite. It's like he got a fucking vampire bite, and he's like, no, everybody, I'm fine. They didn't get me. They did not get me. Yes, I hear you. You can sit in my lap. You're not pushing yourself against my face. You know what I think these are? You know what I think this is? I don't know if you're old enough to know this movie.
These are called love blisters and went away for a little while, but then you came back in my life, lady. These are called love blisters and went away for a little while.
They're called Epstein rashes. They're called Epstein blisters. Okay, kitty, I hear you. My God, this fucking cat is clawed onto me. He is rotting from the inside out. Hold on. OMG, I don't care for real. Rob, your cat's meowing summoned my cat. I haven't seen him in hours. That's so funny. The Love Blisters. Who knows what movie that's from? Iranians are just Americans we haven't met yet. That's kind of true. That's kind of true. We're all just workers trying to survive in this pedo world. It's Chairman Meow. Oh, see, that's what I wanted to name the cat. Meow, Mao, Mao. Nothing lovely. Look at that. Could you imagine, how they always love to bring up Biden? If Biden showed up with a weird love blister, an Epstein love blister like that, I mean, come on. It would be 24-hour news coverage, but instead we're stuck with Iran war, Middle East popping off like it was the goddamn 4th of July in Kentucky. Here's some fucking weird news. Did I even take a shot of this? Oh man, I didn't. I'm just gonna put Pete Kegseth up again because this is Pete Kegseth talking. I want you to listen to what he said about war, and about the rules of war.
with maximum authorities. No stupid rules of engagement, no nation building quagmire, no democracy building exercise, no politically correct wars. We fight to win and we don't waste time or lives. As the president warned, an effort of this scope will include casualties. War is hell and always will be. A grateful nation honors the 4 Americans we have lost thus far and those injured. The absolute best of America.
Did you hear that? That's fucking nuts. I don't know. I don't know if they're trying to make this an anti-woke war, but saying no rules of engagement, no politically correct war. Isn't that like what they were so mad about, during 9/11? I mean, technically, those people had no rules of engagement, right? Right? 9/11, never forget. And this is what the secretary, by the way, he's the secretary. He's not even the main war guy. He's just the secretary. God damn, I wish I could get close enough to interview these people. I'd be like, secretary, where is the actual war man? Can we speak to your boss, Secretary of War? Do you think you could get your boss on the phone? Is he available? I would fucking love that. Pink Fur, thank you for the 99-cent super chat. I'm supported by viewers like you. No, you're the worst American. Gregorinos, you're an absolute traitor to Americans if you support any of this, especially this dude who just said no rules of engagement, no politically correct war, which I don't know. Where were you guys during 9/11? I remember I was in college and the whole thing was like, those weren't rules of war, but they certainly started one. And their whole thing was they claimed that, fighting in the Middle East, you couldn't tell. They were using kids and women and, that was their whole thing, that there were no rules of war. So what they're saying is we're the most superior power ever in the history of the world, and we're going to take that road. I just wouldn't, I would, listen, just knowing America's history and how they didn't do well in Vietnam or in the Middle East, I would say you would want to keep those rules of engagement, for your soldiers' safety. Because as soon as you say, like, all rules are off, it becomes, I don't know, a little risky out there. It's all terrible and unjust, but what happens if we just let it happen? Well, you can, and most people will. I refuse to. Thank you, Pink Fur, for the 99-cent super chat. That's why I am a voice here every single weekday. You can hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. You could join. You could support the channel like Pink Fur does. Pete had Twatsy tats. That's right. What's up, C4? Good to see you. Good to see you. I seen the comments in one of the posts. Good to see you in the chat. He not only has. He has. This is a Twatsy right here. This is a Twatsy. We'll get into this. I guess we could get into this right now. So today I was reading about the reports. They're matted around for striking a civilian boat whilst killing 184 boats themselves. This is what I mean. It's like it's never going to make sense unless you understand Donald Trump's all over the Epstein files. Israel has the tapes. They can blackmail him, and they will release it if he doesn't do exactly what they say. Netanyahu came out and said, this has been my dream for 40 years to do this. Thank you, America. Basically, I'm summarizing, but he did say this was his dream for 40 years, and he did say, America's leading the way and fulfilling a young Israeli dreams, Meanwhile, none of us want it. We just want fucking healthcare. Let's be honest. We want egg and healthcare. Ooh, and I got bad news for all those MAGAs who were bragging about gas prices. What is that? The Strait of Hormuz is closed down. I'm pretty sure your gas is gonna get a lot more expensive. You really want to go out right now? By the way, I don't know if you guys heard this. Melania Trump presided over the UN Security Council. Could you imagine? I don't even know what's her name. Jill Biden? Could you imagine if Jill Biden, did I even get a picture of it? I did. Here. Could you imagine if Jill Biden presided over the UN Council?
The Rule 39 of the Council's Provisional Rules of Procedure, I invite Ms. Rosemary DiCarlo, Under-Secretary General of Political and Peace-Building Affairs, to participate in this meeting. It is so decided. The Security Council will now begin its consideration of item 2
Speak English, bitch. God damn.
of the agenda.
Why does no MAGA say speak English to her? They should say speak American. You know, if they're so for America, you shouldn't say speak English. You should say speak American, y'all. This is fucking crazy, man. I want to see more MAGAs yell at this immigrant about speak English, you know? Or maybe they'll start saying speak American because, I don't know, maybe they're English first. It doesn't matter. But I mean, do you hear this? What an embarrassment. You're supposed to be representing the U.S. here? Are you sure she's not representing Slovenia?
Of the Council's Provisional Rules of Procedure, I invite Ms. Rosemary DiCarlo, Under-Secretary General of Political and Peace-Building Affairs,
Be best. Be best. This is embarrassing.
to participate in this meeting. It is so decided. The Security Council will now begin its consideration
It's what? You stumbled there. I couldn't catch that.
of item 2 of the agenda. I now give the floor to Ms. Rosemary DiCarlo.
Man, I think she struggles to read. I'm going to be very honest. I think Donald Trump and Melania are partially illiterate. Oh, ooh. I hate hearing her talk. I do too. I can't stand it. I forgot. Hold on. This is very important. I have to show you this. This is very, very important. I was doing some reading today, like I be, and I didn't know today was Read a Book in America Day or something. I can't see what it says. An event launched by the National Education Association almost 3 decades ago to encourage reading on Dr. Seuss's birthday every year. Is today Dr. Seuss's birthday? Happy birthday, Dr. Seuss. Eat some green eggs and ham. I'm just kidding. He died a long time ago. However, it's much more likely that you'll find Americans sitting on their own with a little phone that's snuggled into a nook with a book. Sitting on their own with a phone, then snuggled into a nook with a book on a hook with crooks. Literacy rates among U.S. students are still on the decline, with test scores released by the NAEP last year finding that 33% of 8th graders and 40% of 4th graders were reading at a below basic level. We should be so focused on that. The highest shares seen since 92 and 2000, respectively. God damn. This is the horrifying part. A recent YouGov survey suggests that American adults might also have turned the page on reading, with 40% of respondents saying they didn't read a single book in 2025. You're going to start a book today. Anthony Jeselnik, the great comedian and roaster, he has a YouTube channel, and he started a monthly book club. This month it's Kurt Vonnegut. I forget what book. So you could start with him. Here's some Kurt Vonnegut. But who has read a book in the last year? Please let me know in the chat. Just hit 1 if you've read a book, 2 if you haven't. I'm praying to God people have read books. I have so many books I can't even finish them. Rob, gotta agree with that. Adults gotta read. They have to. I mean, preferably, good reading material. Preferably good reading material. Here's a quote from Kurt Vonnegut. He is the book of the month, or he is the author for the book of the month with Anthony Jeselnik. If you're looking to join a club with a very famous comedian who does it here on YouTube and answers questions and does a cool wrap up. I would highly suggest if that gets you motivated. If not, find something that interests you, preferably not oppressive, tyrannical material. There's so much anti-fascist and great literature out there. Read about the Black Panthers. I always suggest Naomi Klein's Shock Doctrine. This is one of my favorite books. This is so amazing. If you want a really easy read, pick up, God damn it. I'll show you some books in a second. Here's Kurt Vonnegut. Enjoy the little things in life because one day you'll look back and realize they were the big things. One, there we go. See, I have a goddamn library, man. If anyone's curious about titles of Kurt Vonnegut books, I can give you several. Is there one called like Not Midnight or something? I can't remember the Anthony Jeselnik book club, but it looks amazing. And if I had money, I would totally buy it. He also had a doctorate. I believe he taught at University of Iowa. Did not know that. I don't know much about Kurt. I love when I come across his quotes and what are they called? Cliff notes of his books or people summarizing it, talking about him, but I've not read him yet. Edward, in the name of good faith, I'll take a suggestion. Waffle. Listen, Waffle is not a leftist at all, so I appreciate the dialogue he's having here. You know what? I'm just going to bring up the Anthony Jeselnik thing. I'm just going to play it because I think it's so important. Because you know what would be cool is if we could get this and read this book. Hold on. Anthony Jeselnik. I thought this was so amazing that this guy was... Because if you know Anthony Jeselnik, he's an amazing comedian. He's so good. March's book, Mother Night, not Midnight. Oh, God, what's wrong with me? Here, I'm going to play this short video if you want to follow him. Anthony Jeselnik on YouTube.
Anthony Jeselnik here to announce Jeselnik Book Club's pick of March.
Eugene
this month,
Debs.
We've got Mother Night by Kurt Vonnegut. It is 268 pages. It is a masterpiece. It is all about the ending. It's not quite as dark as the last two books, but is also taking place during Nazi war crime trials. So it's pretty dark. You've got until March 24th to email me your questions at jeselnikbookclub@gmail.com. And now going forward, we've got a new way to join Jeselnik Book Club. Go to Anthony.
Okay, he just promotes his website because you can go sign up and they'll just email you the book so you don't have to be on YouTube. What's up, Shy Pixie? Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm glad you made it. Read anything by Eugene Debs. 100%. Serendipity going on here, Rob. I was looking for a good read. I'm giving you good reads, man. Especially you, Waffle. Here, hold on. I got to shut off the green screen thing. Get this. You can find this very cheap now because this has been out for years. So usually when I give it as a gift, I can find it for like $6 to $10, depending on where you're buying, what secondhand shop you're getting it from. But pick this up. Dutch historian, Rutger Bregman. Oh, from the Netherlands. Amazing voice for the working class and taxing wealth. And this is a true to life historical contextual book where he shows you times throughout history, especially in America, where programs like universal basic income, open borders, the 15-hour work week, which I promote all the time. Is this all backwards? I'm sorry. It says utopia for realists. Where he lays out the case for each of these and how they worked. But politics and politicians don't want you one paycheck. This is how the world works. Politicians don't want you 1 or 2 paychecks away from losing your home, losing your health insurance, or that's where they want to keep you. They don't want you to have the comfortability where you can get out in the streets and protest or start a hippie movement like the Yippies and Abby Hoffman. They operate on keeping you working. That's why they don't want you to, God damn this cat, hold on. That's why they don't want you to have health care. That's why they want to take away your retirement. That's why, how's the Dow today? Tumbling. This fucking shirt. Oh my God. No. You are bad kitty now. Bad kitty. I feel like I'm in goddamn Cartman. Cat won't be quiet unless I'm holding it. Yeah, I know. I'm well aware. I'm telling them why I can't focus. Do you understand? No. No. Come here. This is what you want, right? Attention. This is how you greet a cat. I did a video on this. That's all they want. They just want to be recognized in the way they can recognize things. Thanks for the suggestion. Waffle, listen, man. If I had to, oh, God. I can't wait till this channel is big enough. I'll get all of you that book. I'll be like Oprah. Everybody look under your chairs. And you'd be like, how did you get one in the Netherlands? Don't ask questions. I'd love to gift that book to everybody. We got to figure out a way to do that. I'll figure it out. Anyways. But yeah, check out that book by Rutger Bregman. You can get it on the cheap, and it's such an easy read. I'm telling you. It's, how many pages? 305. 305 pages. No. It's less. It's less. I'm sorry. These are all the citations at the... Oh my God, his citations go for so long. This is only a 200 and... Stop it, kitty. Don't step on the keyboard. 264 page book. You could finish this in an evening. And then you'll read it again, and then you'll notate it like I did. Wrong. How is the Dow? How? Don't get me started. Come on, you know what you're starting.
The Dow right now is over 50 now. I don't know why you're laughing. That's what we should be talking about.
Should we still be talking about it? You see that? February 27th. Huh. What happened here? What the fuck's been going on here? You sure you want to talk about it? Somebody should get Pam Bondi in a press meeting and ask her how the Dow is.
The Dow right now. S&P at almost 7,000. The American people need to know this. Need to know how is the Dow.
Let me address the survivors, because that's
How is the Dow?
How many of Epstein's co-conspirators?
Somebody needs to ask. Please. God damn it. How amazing would it be if Tim Pool was not such a fucking herb? If he wasn't such a Winslow? If he wasn't such a chud? Because he has access to the White House press corps. I would give anything to get access to the press corps and just have Pam Bondi taking serious questions. I'd be like, I have one. How is the Dow? And if it's not 50 thou, may we prosecute the PDF files? I've been waiting, and I'm checking the ticker. Oh, man. Somebody just please. Somebody in the news. This world is too serious. Nobody's making it out alive. Don't worry. We're all not making it out of this life alive. Nobody has in the history of histories, okay? Even Jesus came back as a ghost for like a few hours and like, fuck, I'm out, dude. He was like, do you know how they got rid of me? I am out of here. So nobody really followed up on Lazarus's story, though. I would like to read a book. Does anybody know a book about Lazarus' second coming? Lazarus's second life. Lazarus' second life. What was that game called? Second Life? Remember, it was like a psychotic game. People were like losing their mind. Riley Gaines is in the press room as a journalist now. Oh my God, no. I'm kind of glad I don't pay attention to who's asking the questions. I just hear them and I know they're stupid. See, we should be able, this is how we win our country back. We infiltrate the press corps and we ask the stupidest fucking questions there can be. Because, I mean, here's the truth about it. You're only going to get dumb answers. You don't believe me? This dude with the zombie bite on his neck was asked something about this war. And it says, while families of fallen U.S. soldiers in a war are grieving, Donald's talking about his beautiful ballroom. Oh, no, he didn't even field any questions. That's right. This is just a clip from it, but I watched the entirety. He was supposed to be answering questions about the war, went on about curtains, and then left while the reporters were not asking him, how is the Dow, which I would have. This is your leader in Queef. This is him. This is a real, like, we're at war. We're in World War Epstein right now. I don't know how to explain this to you. The Middle East is popping off like Kentucky and the 4th of July, or maybe New Hampshire. And this dude is talking about curtains. Fucking curtains. The audacity. And nobody like yelled out to be like, you're a PDF file. You know what I mean? Maybe that's why I'm not in the press corps. Let's be honest.
See that nice drape? When that comes down right now, you see a very, very deep hole. But in about a year and a half from now, you're going to see a very, very beautiful building. And there's your entrance to it right there. In fact, it looks so nice, I think I'll save money on the doors, because it can't get more beautiful than that. I picked those drapes in my first term. I always like gold, but I think we can save a lot of money. I just saved curtains. But,
I'm sorry, he just saved curtains? What the fuck was that?
But, a lot of money. I just saved curtains.
He just saved curtains. He can't save any American lives, but he can save some curtains. I'll give him that.
But, and it'll be spectacular. It'll be the most beautiful ballroom. I believe it, because I built many a ballroom. I believe it's going to.
Probably for Epstein. You know, it's the Epstein Memorial Ballroom Bunker. That's where they're going to go when the people, they're going to go down to the data bunker that's underneath this ballroom he's building. And that's where they're going to hide out. They already have their juice boxes, Capri Suns, and sleeping bags and tents. They're all going to hide out there when the revolution kicks off in America. Because at this point, it's like, you know, they're just pushing us all to the brink. It's inevitable. You know, peaceful, non-violent movements in the committees that you're going to hear about. Hey, if we get 2.5% of the population, that's not how it works. You know, nobody during the revolutionary times were like, listen, man, if we could just get enough people to do a silent, non-violent protest. No, man, you got to take this back. You got to take it back.
Going to be the most beautiful ballroom anywhere in the world. And when you hear all that hammering out there, you know why the First Lady is not thrilled exactly.
Who's she getting hammered by?
She said, well,
oh, everybody liked my joke. You see that? He said, when you hear all that hammering out there, the First Lady's not happy. Oh, is she listening to you hammering on kids?
Hear all that hammering out there, you know why the First Lady is not thrilled exactly.
Netanyahu's railing you? What is it? I don't know. I don't know the punchline to that joke. He doesn't say.
She said, will the pile drivers ever stop? You know, they go from...
Oh, is that what she called Epstein? I bet that's what Melania called Epstein, the pile driver. How is nobody yelling this shit out during this? He is a joke. He's broken every fucking law and constitutional right you have. Nobody should take this man seriously. He's making a mockery of the fucking world by going to war over Epstein, the Epstein files. And how is nobody in the press corps yelling out, is that what your wife called Epstein? You know, I would have been all over it. Tell that immigrant to speak English.
All that hammering out there, you know why the First Lady is not thrilled exactly. She said, will the pile drivers ever stop? You know,
Epstein will never stop.
They go from 6 in the morning till 11:30 in the evening. Can you...
Now, wait a minute. Is he describing Epstein? What is he talking about right here? Is this all innuendos? I can't tell what he's talking about. Let's rewind. I think he's talking about Epstein Island.
Exactly. She said, will the pile drivers ever stop? You know, they go from 6 in the morning till 11:30 in the evening. Can you imagine? Here. You know,
he's like, here, if you listen closely, it's like putting a seashell to your ear. You can hear Epstein Island off in the distance and the faint yells of the people that we smuggled there. Yo, your president is a PDF file for everybody who thinks this dude's a president. If you think this man legitimately won a fucking election with Elon Musk, oh my God. What's it feel like to have a rotten brain? Does it just feel like a rotten banana smushing around in your head, you knuckle draggers?
what? To me, that's a beautiful sound. She doesn't like it. I love it.
Yeah, that's a beautiful... He's like, to me, when I listen closely in the distance, I could still hear the waves breaking on Epstein Island and the faint screams of the people in the basements. It's a beautiful sound. Reminds me, I'll pour one out for my good friend Jeff, who passed away in prison. Now you know why I'm not allowed to the White House press corps. Please don't step on this. Please, I get it. Just stand on my shoulder. Come on. Just hang out on the shoulder. Like your dad does. Just hang on the shoulder. because that's the only way you're going to be happy. You keep trying to pull my hat off. There you go. Are you happy now? I'm sorry. I'm going to have to do this live with a cat on my shoulder. Unless, do you want to play the clips? You can play the clips. Go ahead.
But you know what? To me, other than here, because we're donating it, not a penny to the taxpayer, it'll be under budget, ahead of schedule. It'll be
Okay, this is just a bunch of construction nonsense. Under budget, ahead of schedule. Yeah, because that dude's ever done anything under budget or ahead of schedule. Just ask the contractors he doesn't pay. Beanie and a cat. Oh, that sounds like a PBS Channel 2 show. It's Beanie and the cat. They're here to teach you to read. And there's like 35-year-old dudes from Kentucky. Like, oh, can't wait. Which, you know what? I don't want to make fun of that. If you are illiterate and you voted for this heathen, learn how to read. It's vital. It is more than vital. It is fundamental, as they used to say when I was growing up. Because you've ruined America by voting for this pathogen. And he's, you know, a Epstein. Yeah, he did that, and now he's by going in foreign countries. Yeah. So that was his press conference on the war. Talked about curtains, how he freed the curtains.
do it right there. In fact, it looks so nice, I think I'll save money on the doors, because it can't get more beautiful than that.
This dude is saying you can't get more beautiful than the curtains. Is there any MAGAs in here? There is. The Blue Baron. Tell me how awesome it is. Well, we're at World War Epstein, Blue Baron. That your president, not my president. Remember when you used to say that, maggots? Remember? You used to say, not my president. So tough. It was so tough. That's why we've confiscated that language from you and we're using it. Please don't eat the cord, buddy. Hey, no eating the cord, okay? But Blue Baron, just explain to me how amazing it is while we're in World War Epstein that your president, not my president, is talking about the curtains. How beautiful the curtains are. Where American lives are being lost, probably right now. And he cares so much about Americans and keeping them safe. He had no evacuation plans. There's a bunch of Americans stranded in the Middle East, and soldiers are dying for the Epstein War. Just explain to me how awesome it is that he's talking about the curtains. Is Blue Baron gonna... I've given you enough time. There's enough. Or Jay Dizzle, you can, buddy. Somebody explain to me how amazing it is. I'm not American, so I couldn't vote, but you didn't answer my question. No, bitch, I call the shots here. Answer mine. Oh, I'm sorry. You thought I was a fucking doormat? Get a clue. I don't fucking stand down to bullies. You didn't answer my question. How about this? You go fucking start a live stream, and then we'll see if I can even entertain your fucking, show your face, by the way, for a moment. And then fucking I'll answer your questions. Get the fuck out of here. I didn't think you had anything to say. This dude's talking about goddamn curtains during World War Epstein.
I picked those drapes in my first
He
term.
picked those drapes. Hey, drapes isn't an old-fashioned word. He picked them.
I always like gold, but I think we can save a lot of money. I just saved curtains.
He just saved curtains, everybody. This is the best communicator, says Pete Kegseth. Pete Kegseth, if you missed it, I played audio of him earlier. He was like, the president is a very clear communicator, and I think we all understand when he talks. It's like, he just said he's just saved curtains. What the fuck are you talking about?
But I think we can save a lot of money. I just saved curtains.
How about you save American soldiers? How about you save us money on healthcare or just give it to us for free? How about you save us money on fucking egg? And by the way, MAGA, get ready for your gas prices. Get ready. Get ready to break out that old gem. It's Biden's fault. You didn't know? Biden closed down the Strait of Hormuz. It's Biden's fault. I can't wait for that. Oh my God. He just saved curtains. He can't save Americans. He can't save himself from the Epstein files. He can't fucking save us from thinking that this dude's like clearly got dementia. We are watching Dementia IRL in real life, in real time. This dude is going on a 1.5-minute tirade about how beautiful curtains are. He picked the drapes and then he saved them. This is the fucking dude who is playing 4x4 chess or whatever you nerds think. This is the guy who's like, I love those drapes. And they're like, sir, this is a meeting about World War Epstein. He's like, I just saved drapes. I saved curtains. I'm a war hero. Give me a Medal of Honor. I saved curtains. And I'm not kidding. This is yesterday in the White House. This motherfucker. Well, there's parents of soldiers like, oh my God, what is going to happen? Where are my kids? He's like, I just saved drapes.
Can save a lot of money. I just saved curtains.
He just saved curtains. I'd like everybody to bow their head in prayer. Our Father, thank you so much for Donald Trump saving curtains. We were so worried curtains were going to be lost to the woke mob. We know radical leftists hate blocking their windows from people peering in. And we know the Epstein class loves curtains. We're not going to say the reasons why, and don't peek into our hearts, Father, but we'd just like to thank you because clearly Donald is appointed by God to save the curtains. Everybody raise your head. That was our moment of prayer. He invented curtains. They're really nice curtains. Look at Blue Barons. Now he's playing along. All right, I gotcha. Listen. If this dude didn't like gold so much, he would have made the fucking American flag a curtain, okay? And MAGA would have been fucking saluting to it. I gotta salute to the curtains every time I walk by the window, goddamn president. I'm sure Kid Rock, you know what I'd imagine? I'd imagine Kid Rock's house has American flag curtains. He doesn't understand that he's desecrating the flag that he so worships. Just like when he makes it into a cape and pretends to be Superman on stage. I don't know what the fuck he does. Kid Rock, Epstein Island, same thing. Okay, cat, please stop eating all the cords. Please. Oh, did you see this? I played a clip, or did I play a clip where I showed you a meme of the Spanish president? Pedro Sanchez. I believe that's his name. I only believe that's his name because I'm pretty sure I sat next to a Pedro Sanchez in Cat. If this fucking cat tried to take over the live stream. Look at this cat. This cat is serious. He almost got cat vision. Can you please just stop? I can't do anything when you're doing this. It's really too much. Do you speak English? No? Irish? Do you ditch? Donde Vale? No? Nothing? Okay. Anybody speak cat? Anybody speak cat? Just tell my cat to back the up. Yeah. I know, you're very smug. You are very smug. You are a very smug kitty. Yes. And you always demand your way. And even if you have to flip my phone over. Like, really, what were you thinking? Seriously, what were you thinking right there? What were you going to do with my phone? You going to run away with it? Was that the plan? You were like, oh, if I can't get his attention, I'll take the phone. Okay, Sunshine Lacrosse, thank you. Meow, 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 meow. Yeah? No, now you're just content. Now the cat's like, okay, I love you again. No, listen. Aspen Creek Farms, I promise you the cat has no wild look in its eyes. This is how the cat just looks. Always. It's like eyes are smaller on the top. I don't know how, but this cat just always, well, now she's very discontent. Yeah. Are you just happy? Is that it? Yeah. You're just happy? Does anybody else have a cat this psychotic that talks to you? You heard that, right? Like, I'm not crazy. Like, the cat just went, yeah. Like, this is absolutely bananas. Okay, Shy Pixie. Shy Pixie definitely speaks kitty. Psst, 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 psst. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Shy Pixie. Okay, Sunshine says, I'm not crazy. She had a few cats, and they do talk. Thank you. I am not crazy. Man, your cat is 100% preferable to... Oh, sorry. I forgot. I'm so sorry. I forgot I had that up. I am so sorry. Here. We'll put this up. We'll put this up. I'm so sorry. Oh. But who was I telling? This is just how the cat looks. That's why I call it smug cat. Because the cat just it's not grumpy, it's just smug. Oh, yeah, I know, buddy. There you go, get on my shoulder. You can stay up there. All right. Shy Bixie, yes, he walks through the house calling, hello? Are you talking about cat for president? NJ Cave Explorer. Say no more. Which cat? Which cat are we nominating? At this point, I think a cat has a better shot than any fucking Democrat. Which, by the way, I was trying to follow along. The Democratic National Convention might be held in Boston. Boston is one of the runners up. And I can only pray it wins because I really want to protest outside of it. Really, really bad. Like so bad. So bad. I have an orange cat myself. The only thing orange I'd die for. You're like, listen, after the past 10 years, the color orange has really just kind of made me obtuse to the world. But that cat, that's the thing that I'll die for that's orange. Respect, orange cats are nuts. We had a couple little babies and now they're with friends and they're bananas, but God bless them. God bless them. Orange is not the new black here. It is 100% not. My dog for VP. Dan Bethel, that's actually a good ticket. Now, you might be thinking, this guy's crazy. He wants a cat to run with a dog VP. And I think that really covers all our bases. I don't think there's any mice people, you know? And I think in times like this, where the president is all over the Epstein files, started the World War Epstein just to distract from the Epsteins, where everybody is just, you know, a predator. And the working class are their prey because they're well organized. I say this is the stuff that keeps us sane, folks. You know, we got to figure out a good cat. I hate to say this, it can't be an orange cat. I respect all your orange cats, but we've had enough orange in this White House. I'm pretty sure they're going to have to clean the drapes from all that fucking mascara he's putting on his face. Maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's the president. I don't know. But I think that would be a good ticket. I would say a Norwegian forest cat. We already got an immigrant pussy in the White House. Sorry, can I say that on YouTube? I don't know if I can. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Help support the channel because I say stuff and YouTube goes, nah. Like somebody told me, I'm on a shadow ban right now. So if you found me, amen. But I'm used to being shadow banned. You know, I'm talking about the hard-hitting news. Like the president, instead of talking about World War Epstein, he's talking about the drapes and how he saved curtains. Couldn't save American lives, but he could save a curtain. That's about the gumption he has. That's about the Medal of Honor caliber he's at. He could save some curtains. He probably groped them, and the curtains probably are in the Epstein files now. But we also talk about things like what would be the best cat to run for president, and what kind of dog VP. My ticket is clearly a Norwegian forest cat with an Akita VP. Do I want Iran war? No, none of us do. He's a therapy canine. Wait. Hold on. What kind? Is it a... Dan, is it a... What kind of... You didn't say what kind of dog. Golden Retriever? Listen, Silverado. That is a favorable ticket, but I think it plays too much to the crowd, okay? Guys, we should vote the Taco Bell Chihuahua for... How old are you? How do you know about that? I am Noodle. How do you know about Yo Quiero Taco Bell? My God. Oh my God. You're cracking my cranium with nostalgia. I don't know if I could play this whole thing. Where does he say it? Where does he say it? He's got to say it right here.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Who said that? I am Noodle. Yo. Do you guys remember Yo Quiero Taco Bell? German Shepherd. Okay, it's a Shepherd. You know, after the German influence in the White House now, I don't know if a German Shepherd would be a good running mate. You know, I'm sticking with Akita. Husky, okay. Back to the 90s again. Refab's watching. Refab, keep the counter. How many times we hit the 90s? Because we're going to. All about the 90s. Man, so okay, so everybody knows you're going to play the Budweiser frog commercial? You motherfuckers. You know we're supposed to be commenting on the news, and here you are throwing me down a 90s rabbit hole because I want to hear Bud. Wise. Oh my God. Oh my God, I just want to hear it. Just want to hear it. Hold on, I don't know how much I can play of this. You guys got to hit some, we need some more likes if I'm going to be playing commercials that are going to get my channel demonetized. You guys got to subscribe and hit likes. I'm doing this for you. Clearly not the money. I'm doing this for the love of the game. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, hold on. It's got to be right here. Oh, no, that's what? That's not the good one. Come on. Oh, here it is. It was a Super Bowl.
Bud. Wise. Bud. Bud. Wise. Bud. Bud. Wise. Bud. Wise. Bud. Bud. Wise.
Listen. The 90s were a psychedelic time. A lot of people were getting in touch with their inner selves, and they were finding things funny that, you know, weren't mainstream, but it was carving a new mainstream path. And this is one of those beautiful, beautiful moments in time where frogs were craving beer in America. This is so fucking American. I can't get over it. Watching it in retrospect, I'm like, God damn, man. God damn. Woodstock 99. My buddy came home early from that, and I'm thanking God I didn't go. I was supposed to go with him, but I got in some trouble, and I couldn't go. And I remember walking down the street, and he pulled up in his, God, what was he driving? He was driving some 90s sports car. I forget. But it wasn't like a real sports car. It was like one of those like Eagle Talon or something. Remember those? Or the Mitsubishi Eclipse. It was something like that. And he pulled up, and I was like, yo, I thought you were supposed to be up in Woodstock. And he's like, I left. It sucked. Yeah, Smoke a Blondie. Woodstock 99 was the shitty one where they had it on the airport hangar. So instead of like grass and, you know, it was very corporate. Because Woodstock 94 was with the Mud Pit and the great bands. I believe the Cranberries, Green Day. I forget who else was there. But Woodstock 99, for you young heads, we had two. One was more authentic, and the second one was very corporate elite. You know, let's just charge them as much as we can, get them on a hot tarmac, and play Kid Rock in front of them, and they'll go wild. And people burn the place down. It was horrible. 90 Civics are the best. They'll probably still last longer. Dog Wants a Kitten video is the best. Oh, I don't know that one. I can't fully go down this rabbit hole right now. You guys are gonna drive me nuts. Okay. Hold on. Okay, so I was talking about Spain. The Spanish president basically condemned what's going on right now, right? Just condemned. It was just like, we can't support this, you know? Like, there's supposed to be international law, which there is. The framework in the world right now is if you have the military might to do it, go for it. That's the message not only America sent, but Russia sent. I would just wait for China's next move. This is why this is World War Epstein, because what's going on right now is, you know, there's no law and order. That was a facade when they said, you just follow the laws. No, these people don't, nobody fucking, there is no law and order. It just doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. The black community has known that for a while, but this orange turd is just exposing it for really what it is. You know, that's why when they said might makes right, what they were saying is if we have the fucking Epstein army to back us, we'll do whatever we want. Do you want to go out or are you going to come over here? You really? Okay, because I'm not going to do the door thing again. Oh, here. I forgot. I didn't even get to show you this. Plato. If you do not take an interest in the affairs of your government, then you are doomed to live under the rule of fools. Of fools. Of fools who actually move like a bitch. Did you know that? That's not my words. Presidential words.
I moved on her like a bitch.
That's right. That's right. So you're doomed to live under the rule of fools.
Well, Lordy frickin' God!
Oh yeah, Silvernato is A-okay. Don't block him. He's A-okay. Homer, the cat wants something, but I don't know that. Hold on. Oh yeah, she's sitting at the door. Okay. Come on. Come on. What are you doing? There you go. She's had her fill of me, and that is all. Okay, and we understand that this is all. There's a great article in the New Yorker called "Are We Living in the Age of Epstein?" And I just want to remind you. I'll show you a little bit of this. No. Where is it? Where's my Epstein article? Nope. Here it is. This is from New Yorker. I linked it down below. I think it's a free article. They weren't asking me to pay money. You know I despise that. I say, man, if democracy dies in darkness, we should have a free press. Not like just free to say whatever they want, but it should be fucking free to the people. You know, these people have trillions of dollars. They can pay their reporters. Okay, one of the central contentions of Trump's movement was that the world was run by a corporate, deviant, rootless elite, a cabal of cosmopolitan globalists who held themselves out as enlightened, but were actually callous, self-interest, and predatory. Sound like anyone? Sound like anyone? Trump positioned himself as the alternative to this group. If the rich weren't like you and me, he was the exception. Donald Trump was the exception to, let me read this again. Donald Trump positioned his movement as the exception to a corrupt, deviant, rootless elite, a cabal of cosmopolitan globalists who held themselves out as enlightened, but are actually callous, self-interested, and predatory. That sounds like every accusation is an admission, literally. Another Trumpist tenet was that our society had become lawless. The only one that's breaking the law the most is the fucking dude who is supposed to be like the embodiment of the law. He's supposed to act accordingly, man. Another Trumpist tenet was that our society had become lawless. Its justice system far too lenient. Not for those in the Epstein files. We'll get to that. He promised rough justice. Oh, man. I think that was that was the safe word on Epstein Island, rough justice. Quote, lock her up, which still is hilarious to me. In a tragic sense. In you know, like an epic play sense. It's a tragedy of epic proportions that they used to chant lock her up for emails when they're not chanting lock him up for, I don't know, Epstein emails? Anyways, yet another was that the technocratic experts were part of the deep state and weren't telling the truth. He knew better. And then there was a claim about power which was to be enjoyed and employed nakedly in place of the nuanced manipulations of norms and bureaucracies. This wasn't exactly an unprecedented mix of ideas, and yet just a year or two earlier, it hadn't been anywhere close to taking over America. How had it ascended so quickly? Well, I would say America was ripe for this. When most presidents don't follow the law, don't hold themselves accountable, don't hold other presidents accountable whenever you get Nixon being, pardoned, you get Trump with 34 felonies being elected, when, Obama can do whatever the he wants with drones, when these people, when their rule of law is might makes right, and they hold themselves to zero accountability. Clinton coming on TV saying I had no sexual relations with that woman and clearly lying, and who knows about how many else. I would just say the institution has failed its people, and we cannot reform it. We must replace it. We must rise from the ashes, which maybe those ashes are coming sooner than later. I don't know. Donald Trump's talking about curtains while we're in World War Epstein. What does it say? Okay. Fuck it. They make a kaleidoscope metaphor. I don't want to read it. This is the New Yorker after all. The Epstein scandal further rearranges many of the kaleidoscopic elements that Trump already rearranged. An evil global cabal, an ineffectual justice system, the exercise of unchecked power by untrustworthy experts. These are familiar themes. I would say they're the themes we're living under right now. But the Epstein story also brings together other elements, many of which have been in the mix for decades. We might start with the institutional scandals of the 2000s and 2010s. Spotlight, Catholic, Weinstein, Nassar, Cosby, Seville, Abu Ghraib, yada, yada, yada. We know that history. And if you don't, read the article down below. In the wake of the financial crisis, the Occupy movement argued that a global overclass was taking advantage of the rest of us. God bless those occupiers. They knew. Members of the 1% may have worked for competing governments or financial firms, but at the end of the day, they enriched one another, like pro athletes playing in the same league. It wasn't only, that's not a good, that's a horrible metaphor. Like pro athletes, they're not enriching each other. What? Is this the New Yorker? Maybe stay out of the sports metaphors. It wasn't only progressives who worried that capital and control were flowing into globalized spaces, accessible mainly to the private jet set. In 2004, the conservative political theorist Samuel Huntington explored the idea of Davos men and transnationalists who view national boundaries as obstacles that thankfully are vanishing, and see national governments as residues from the past whose only useful function is to facilitate the elite's global operation. Accurate. The Epstein class knows no boundaries, knows no borders. They want you to pretend like you have them, but they don't. We see it all the time. Netanyahu's kids are what? In South Beach, right? His wife in South Beach. Trust me, if there was ever a warrant out for Donald Trump's arrest, I'm pretty sure he would flee at this point with the charges that are stacking up against him. And that's what it is. Elon Musk went from meddling in our election to the UK. I don't think he thinks he can handle France. Number one, you don't speak the language. But number two, I don't think the French people would tolerate it. The UK isn't even tolerating him. He wasn't even tolerated in apartheid South Africa. You know how much hatred is in apartheid South Africa? And they didn't even like Elon. That's why he had to leave. Well, that, and he didn't want to do military service. Him and Trump have more in common than you know. Epstein file buddies. These new understandings, both the powerful and of the diffuse hierarchies within which they operate, are two elements of the Epstein kaleidoscope. Another is a new conception of the public. In the days before social media, public opinion might have to been characterized through surveys or man-on-the-street reporting. Ooh, I did that once. Or ventriloquized by leaders who claim to know what people thought. Donald Trump still does that. You hear him do that all the time. When he's like, everybody's saying it. In fact, I started ripping it off when I say, obtuse things about him. Like everybody's saying it's a vampire bite on his neck. Everybody is saying that is definitely love blisters on his neck. We're reading this article from the New Yorker, but if you don't know about the blisters, let me just show you. These, I believe these are a rare type of Epstein love blister. I'm not exactly sure.
These are called love blisters and went away for a little while, but then you came back in my life, lady.
Something About Mary was funny when it came out, and now looking back, that movie's dumb. Anyways, what were we reading? The New Yorker. Huntington's. Okay. But the same decades that saw a rethinking of the elite also saw a reinvention of the public as a networked online entity, a sort of hive mind, which is what we try to do here. We try to implore people not to be of that hive mind. Not this new way of think for yourself, Joe Rogan. I don't see doctors, but I see horse doctors bullshit. But, you really got to vet the media. The media is basically owned by the Ellison family. And I can't stress how important that is. Like if you watch Fox News or read the Wall Street Journal or many of the syndicates beneath them or branched out, that is Australian billionaire Rupert Murdoch. There's a few different companies, but right now, Larry Ellison, the big one, who just bought Paramount, took over CBS, put, Zionist mouthpiece Barry Weiss in charge, held interviews with Erica Kirk, that grifter. A bunch of just bullshit, like not news. Any serious station would be like, the president's accused of what? Why are we not covering this 24 hours a day? Why are we not putting together that this is World War Epstein and they're just trying to distract from that? But now the Ellisons have outbid Netflix to own CNN and a bunch of other stuff, TBS. There's so many different little media, MTV, Nickelodeon, like there's so much there. This is one billionaire family owning, I don't even know what the percentage of the market is, but this is not a free press. This is not a free market. This is an oligarchy. I hope everybody understands that. So if you ever see an article from CBS, I would, throw it in the trash if you don't get it digitally. You can't trust what these people say. This is billionaire propaganda. They're not here to be your friend. And more importantly, they're not here to get you the news for free. They want $1 from you, or sign up for a subscription, or give us your email, or soon to unlock an article, you'll do a face scan. I pray to God I'm wrong about that, but just watch. They want your facial ID so they know who's reading what news. The good people read the CBS news. That's what they'll say. They'll criminalize other news networks. Oh, what? You think that's crazy? They tried taking Jimmy Kimmel off the air. They've gotten Stephen Colbert off the air. The president actively, vocally tweeted that he wants Seth Meyers and, was it Fallon? I don't know. Gone. What do you think's next? You think he just stops there? You think him complaining about PBS and NPR and defunding all the public works was his fill? You think if they, challenged his authority anymore and he just, got a wild love blister up his butt, he's not going to turn around and try to, arrest them? No. It stops at Don Lemon, folks. That's right. Okay. Let's continue with this. So we were talking about the hive mind. And don't trust the lamestream media. That's why I'm here. That's why we're deciphering this stuff together. You got to read it with a keen eye, critical think. You know what I'm saying? You got to find out we know the New Yorker's writing this article. We understand that. I was showing you the love blisters. Let's go back to the article. Let's get to the next part of the article. I didn't take pictures of all of it. I'm sorry. Weak people cannot handle comedy. Truth, Smoking Blondie. The truth will set you free. And sometimes it's hilarious. Like Donald Trump saving curtains. This bitch saved curtains. I still can't get over it. He saved curtains. This is the funniest shit ever. How do you not, just think this dude's a total moron? We're in World War Epstein, and this bitch is like, I saved curtains.
A lot of money. I just saved curtains.
He did, everybody. I want, when you're mourning for those soldiers, I want you to remember that the curtains have been saved, okay? That's what your president says. Follow orders. Huntington's analysis at the turn of the millennium, that's weird, I was there for that, had contrasted Y2K, the elite class, with a traditional public that cared about God and country. But the new public was stranger than that. Its hive mind could think out loud, servicing, organizing, and analyzing vast quantities of information in real time, as in the Steubenville case in 2012, or the crash of Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 in 2014. Yet it was thinking was hardly objective, shaped by for-profit, viral, and ad-targeted algorithms. It was dawn to ideas that were lurid, divisive, and provocative. It was often, in a word, crazy. The new public was hyperglossic. Is that a fucking word? Come on, New Yorker. Are you serious? Hyperglossic? Are you kidding me? Hyperglossic refers to an extreme, excessive state of language, discourse, or communication, often characterized by a saturation of voices, data, or text that collapses traditional narrative or chronological structures. Hyperglossic. All right, it's a word. Fine, New Yorker. You're showing off here. That's why we come to the New Yorker. We want them $3 words. Where was I? The new public was hyperglossic, with its human subunits constantly typing and posting. Its thoughts explored every possibility. Anything that could be said would be said, no matter how horrible or outlandish. Yeah, we've all been on the internet. We've all been on the internet. No matter how horrible or outlandish. And these tendencies collided with an unprecedented growth in accessible data. Increasingly, the hive mind could find pretty much anything it wanted to see in the Earth-sized Rorschach blot available for its analysis. Let's get farther down. Okay, here we go. The Epstein story, of course, was part of the capsule history we've just reviewed. It was always there, contained in the pattern. Recently, though, it's become the pattern. If a movie starts out normally with a family moving into a new house and then the family discovers a demon in the basement, ooh, this sounds like a good movie, then the whole movie has changed. It was always a horror movie. That's what this feels like. Is that what this feels like? I would say you moved into the house with the demon. You know, we've always had this demon here. The demons always existed. You didn't move in to a haunted house. It came with you. You left a house that, you know what it feels like? Let me explain this to you, New Yorker. You know what it feels like? It feels like you had a haunting in one house with the demon, and you moved to another house, and there was two demons. You brought one demon, and there was another demon, and you're double fucked. That's what it feels like. God damn, the New Yorker is totally a classist fucking paper. Because if this is like moving into a house with a demon, you should see how the rest of us are living. Summing up the whole picture is impossible. No. I can sum it up. Donald Trump's kids. Summed up. Simple. Here's the thing. It's not as complex as it sounds. He went to war to hide the fact that there's allegations of him being kids. Simple concept. Now, hold on. Now, to the average human, you may go, that sounds nuts. That's the president. And I say, have you read the Epstein files? I have. I've seen them. I've seen the allegations. We know that there are 2 million hidden files, which must be much worse than what we've already seen, which only confirmed that we didn't even have the imagination to understand how horrific it was. If, you know, and this is the thing, it's like talking to a normie and you're trying to explain, like, you know, what you can't even imagine because you're like, that's so fucking crazy. You know, the guy who bragged about on Howard Stern that he had no age limit and then clarified, no, at 12 is my cutoff when he was 60 years old. He was 60. He's almost 80 now. So 20 years ago when Donald Trump was 60, he said his cutoff was no age at all and then said, no, I take that back. I forgot him on radio. I wouldn't fuck a 12-year-old. That's his cutoff. Okay, that guy who bought the teen pageants so he could, again, brag on the radio that he was the owner of the teen pageants. And if Donald Trump owns the pageant, he can go back and creep on the girls. You know, the people that voted for the guy to get guys out of women's locker room who bragged about being a guy in women's locker room? Yeah, this guy with this history of, you know, allegations as far back as the 80s, who has always been a pervert and a creep. The BBC did a whole documentary on it. Not to mention, he's on record in, I believe, the New Yorker magazine, which ironically we're reading, where he says, Jeff Epstein is my best friend. We both love women, just he likes them much younger than I do. So that guy, I know this is going to be hard to believe. That guy's all over the Epstein files for doing inappropriate things with girls who he clearly said he would, at 60 years old, he would tag. You know what I mean? It's hard to explain this to people because it just seems so far-fetched, especially once you know Donald Trump's history. Once you really understand his history, and the patterns of behavior that he's shown us through his history of gropers and perverts and birds of a feather flocking together. Once you understand that history and you stop ignoring it or treating it like, oh, well, that just exists in its own vacuum and that makes no sense. How could this guy who's president wears a suit? He saved the curtains, for goddamn sake. He saved the fucking curtains. Do you not understand? He saved the curtains.
I think we can save a lot of money. I just saved curtains.
He saved curtains, and you're going to tell me this guy's in the Epstein files? Are you okay? Are you okay? Joe Biden, right? Isn't that what they say? I mean, he couldn't save any American soldiers. He couldn't save fucking, basically, money at all. What did we add? 3 trillion to the debt? Who knows? Oh, by the way, you want to see how much this war is costing us? I thought this was fascinating. And remember, this is an old number. Remember. I'll tell you what, he couldn't save us $2 billion. Operation Epstein Fury, the U.S. cost since strikes began, $1,872,000,000. And that was at 2 days and 15 hours. So we're beyond that. So this is much more. This is over $2 billion. Cost us over $2 billion. I don't ever want to hear any fucking politician ever again say that we can't afford it. They got money for wars, can't feed the poor. Never want to hear that they can't afford it again. There is a fucking counter online of how much money we've spent. And that's not, in months. This $2 billion is since Saturday. What day is it again? What is it, June? Oh, no. It's 3 days later. But don't worry. This is what I wish that they'd ask. I'm going to play the president again last night when he was supposed to be talking about World War Epstein and instead said this.
My first term, I always liked gold, but I think we can save a lot of money.
Excuse me, sir. You want to save money on the curtains? Excuse me. One question from the press pool. Just in the 3 days time, I check my invisible Apple Watch. It's new. You can't get one. Don't ask to touch it. My invisible Apple Watch says that just in 3 days, sir, really 2.5, you've spent $2 billion, but you want to save money on what?
I always liked gold.
Yeah.
But I think we can save a lot of money. I just saved curtains.
You think you could save a lot of money on curtains? Are these billion fucking dollar curtains? What the fuck is he talking? You're going to... You understand, MAGA, how stupid you are to gotta hear a guy being like, you gotta be a ingrown toenail of a human to be sitting at home listening to him being like, look at that, our president's trying to save us money on curtains. While this ticker is going up of how much tax money of yours is being spent just bombing other countries, and then their defenses that we probably paid for with our tax money is shooting those bombs down. And you want to save money on curtains? Unless those curtains are made out of fucking Hellcat missiles or stealth bomber. Maybe they're curtains on a stealth bomber. That's it. He made the curtains out of stealth bombers. That's it. I figured it out. The curtains are made out of stealth bombers. That's why he saved them.
I always liked gold.
Yep.
But I think we can save a lot of money. I just saved.
He thinks he could save a lot of money. Do you hear that? Here's the ticker for the war, the Epstein war. How much money it's cost us in only 2 days. Only 2 days and 15 hours. So, by the time he was saving money on curtains, we could have, just not done this? Maybe give us health care? I don't know. Americans are so much less safe. So much less safe. So much. Listen, if you're going to act this fucking stupid in here, I'm just going to play your president for you. Your president, not mine. I don't worship no PDF files. Sorry. You can all you want. Check his hard drive. Not our president. Okay? This is a fucking criminal Epstein trafficker. That's what he is to me. I would gladly send you off to war to, die in his late friend Epstein's honor. This is him caring so much about Americans that he had no fucking answer to why there wasn't an evacuation plan for the, Americans in the Middle East.
Travel right now is severely restricted in the Middle East, and thousands of Americans are stranded. Why wasn't there an evacuation plan, and will you send planes to get people out?
Well, because it happened all very quickly.
He fucking did this, and you're saying there was no evacuation plan because I did it so quick? This is what I mean. Just don't entertain the fucking morons. Please don't. This is the dude that these people worship, okay? This is Rep. Raskin talking about this old fart.
Trump's name is all over these files. All over it. I mean, thousands and thousands of times. If you spend any real time with these files, you will see references to 17-year-old girls, 16-year-old girls, 14-year-old girls, 11-year-old girls, 10-year-old girls, and I saw a reference today to a 9-year-old girl. So it's a really gruesome and grim story. And I think in order to see our way through this and to try to make progress on criminal investigation and prosecution and some kind of social redemption from this whole nightmare.
Fuck are you talking about? So there is no redemption from this nightmare. Listen, Raskin, I'll take it from here because, you just worry about trying to prosecute these grapers. But don't worry, folks. Don't worry, folks. Like Brad said, we're all safer. Do you want to know why we're all safer? Here's the truth of everything, folks. The reason we're safer. Oh, did you see the new patch that they're going to get for servicing around? If they even put boots on the ground. They're going to have the Kurds do the dirty work. And no, that is not George Bush. Somebody made a very funny comment saying that was George Bush. But this is the war patch for Operation Diddler Distraction or Operation Epstein Fury. It's World War Epstein, folks. But Brad said, we're much safer, guys. We're so much safer now. But, I would just have a couple of counterpoints to that. I know you're convinced you're safe, Brad, because you're an American, you're probably white with a name like Brad, so you're like, I'm the safest there is. In the backwoods of Eastern Carolina or fucking Western Dakota. Who gives a shit? But Cash App Patel, seen here, mimicking Epstein? I don't know. Cash App Patel fired the FBI agents with Iran experience days before the strike. Now, we talked about this because he was also firing the people who were investigating Trump. But we didn't know that he fired the Iranian experts too. So, nothing says like we're playing 4D chess by firing the experts. That probably could have, I don't know, given you some insight. No. It's great because you know what? Brad's trust is all in Cash App Patel. Now, I'm glad Brad stopped in the chat, especially at this time, because we really I need to remind you of who Cash App Patel is, okay? And I'm going to. If you don't know, before he was head of the FBI, he wrote a children's book, and this is not a fucking joke. I didn't make this up. This is not AI. If you're not old enough, which you should be, I mean mentally. When I say if you're not old enough, sometimes I mean mentally, which Brad clearly not. But before he was head of the FBI, gonna get to the bottom of those Epstein files, what was he doing? Oh, writing children's book. This is his ad. Hold on. What the funk?
My name is Cash Patel, and I have written the first ever children's Russiagate book. It's called The Plot Against the King. It is a fantastical telling by me, the Russiagate chief investigator under then Chairman Nunes, of how we triumph to put truth over evil and report the facts to the American public. Please go to the link below and order your copy today.
You're fucking kidding. They put a children's author, probably a shitty one. I'd like to read the reviews because I'll never read that book. Who wrote a book about Trump saying the plot against the king. This is the guy that not only is running the FBI, told us there's nothing in the Epstein files, told us he didn't really know about the Epstein files, couldn't really answer about it, but then fired the Iranian experts. What kind of 4D checkers bullshit is this, man? This is your fucking people? Brad, this is your Brad. This is who you fucking support. You love this dude, and his name is Cash App. Don't call him Cash. Don't lend him the street cred he's dying to get. Okay? This motherfucker's name is Cash App, and I can't tell where he's looking. Hey, over here. Hey. Oh, it's a wonky eye. Sorry. I don't know. Just with the wonky eye alone, I would think you need 20/20 vision to fucking run the FBI. Do they give you the little vision test when you go in there, and the hearing test where you're like, this side? This motherfucker sold a children's book, The Plot Against the King. You gotta be kidding me. You've got to fucking be kidding me. Good God. And this is what I was talking about when it came to people not reading. If you don't know, today is National Read a Book Day in America. Please read a book. I don't care if it's One Fish, Two. Don't read The Plot Against the King. Don't you fucking dare read this book. That does not count. I'll let you read, Are You My Mom, Hop on Pop, Green Eggs and Ham. But Brad, read. Just read a book. Anything. We got to cultivate some fucking wrinkles in that brain of yours, buddy. Only the truth. You fucking wish, bro. I'll read you under the table. I don't drink, so I'll read you under the table. You kidding me? The sad thing is you thought this was a children's book, but really, do you know how many fucking adults got it and probably had their kids read it to them? Give me a break. I'm not a Democrat, by the way. If you call me a fucking Democrat, I will... You know nothing. I am the radical left mob that Donald Trump warned you about, okay? Get it straight. You have nightmares about me. You think I'm going to crawl out from under your bed and give you health care, all right? You are terrified of me. I want to tax all your wealthy friends. Ooh, by the way, let's talk about that. I want to tax all your wealthy friends. Ooh, hold on. Just so we're clear, the number of Americans who approve of Trump's Iran, Epstein, that should be Epstein war, is 27%. So we're also clear, the number of Americans who approved of the Vietnam War at its end in 74 was 29%. If you're not a bot, you're fucking... Here we go. So Bernie Sanders, right? He wants a 5% billionaires wealth tax. It will raise $4.4 trillion. Don't worry, your kings and queens, the oligarchs, will still have money. And listen, if they can't survive on not hundreds of billions, but just 61 billion, then maybe they're living outside their means, okay? But he would give $3,000 to everyone in a household making $150K or less. That's you. That's you, America. That's me and you, America. That's us. Build 7 million homes and apartments. Who gives a shit? If they're luxury homes, I don't want them, Bernie. How about you just give people 7 million homes and apartments? Remember, you need a fucking house to survive. So if anybody's going to sit in my comments and be like, these people want everything from it. No, I want Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and Elon Musk to get the fuck out of our country and give us our wealth back, the wealth we created. They didn't fucking create that. You think he goes to work? He's building a tree house in Kauai. Go read about it. And he's stealing it fucking from the indigenous people there. It's their sacred land. Get out of here. These fucking clowns don't work. Enact a $60,000 minimum teacher salary. It should be $75K. Speaking of that, the top 1% in America now hoard 55 trillion, more than the GDP of the United States and China combined. That's the top 1%. That's how much money they have. So if you're going to defend this, let me just tell you, the rich are a luxury. We cannot afford it anymore. We just can't afford it. Hold on. I wanted to find... the other tweet. We'll finish going over this. Expand Medicaid, Medicare for dental, vision, and hearing, and much, much more. But wait, there's more. You following me, camera guy? Come on, that's a throwback. I don't think that's the 90s, but set it and forget it. Now, here, just in case you bootlickers were feeling bad for the billionaires, I want you to understand. If Bernie's wealth tax was in effect in 99, so not 2026, but 27 years ago, if it went into effect in 99, Jeff Bezos, the owner of the Washington Post, remember the media is corrupted, it's complicit in this Epstein class conspiracy against us, would be worth 61 billion instead of 234 billion. Who the fuck is fighting for Jeff Bezos to not be a 234 billionaire? Who the fuck is like, no, really, that 234 billion he needs. Do you know how many of his employees had to poop in a bottle? And do you know how tough that is? Like, they were pooping in bottles, man. They couldn't even take a break. Do you know how hard his employees worked to get him that money? And you're what? You're like, no, 61 billion. He'll never be able to live on that. Like, do you fucking hear yourself? I want you to go in the mirror and say that. Seriously, if you're a MAGA, I want you to go into the mirror because Jeff Bezos highly supports Donald Trump and Melania. And I want you to say that he shouldn't be taxed. He needs all $234 billion, not $61 billion. That's not enough to live. Well, you're making what? Fucking $44K a year if you're lucky at one job. And you got to sell all of your time during the day so you can't even come home and enjoy eating your toenails or whatever the fuck you do. Seriously. Oh, and Bezos would still be able to afford his $500 million yacht. It's unreal what these fucking slobs, these debaucherous, pathetic hog swaths will defend. It's unreal that you don't understand. If he can't survive on, and this is if it went into effect in 99, if he can't survive on 61 billion, let me just say, you're living life wrong. You are fucking living life wrong. Okay? My God, these pathetic nerds. I gotta find this tweet. Where is it? Not that one. We're gonna get into the Christian Zionist war, Epstein war. By the way, seen in Boston today. War crimes don't hide crimes. That's true. Where is this tweet? Because this was so sad. I hope I took a picture of it. Where is it? Where is it? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? You're fucking kidding me, man. Did I not take a picture of it? I didn't. I'm sorry. Basically, it said almost, like, I forget what the percentage was, but it was talking about teachers having to hold a second job. This is if you're new here, like Brad is, he probably left. But Brad called me a Democrat, and here's the thing. Democrats want to uphold that bullshit. Democrats don't want teachers to, work one job and be able to survive. Democrats are content with the status quo, as long as they can inside trade with their stocks, with the industries they regulate, they're fine. What leftists want, what the radical left wants, is teachers to be paid 6 figures a year, never have to focus anything besides educating the youth. It's the most vital job right now. We have like 20% of the country in a fucking cult. They're just in a cult. And they can't even see it. They're like, it's Joe Biden's fault. Joe Biden made me join the cult. They're so dumb. And it's like, really, we need teachers to have one job. If anything, let cops work part-time. Let cops work in the cities that they fucking police and make them have to fucking survive on 2 jobs. I think it would make them more empathetic, If not only you got pulled over by a cop, but then later that night you're out to dinner and he's waiting on you, and you're like, oh, is this the guy who gave me a ticket? I don't think I'm giving you a tip. I don't think so. That's the fucking world us leftists want to live in, where the cops are sending their Amazon wish lists every year because they're out of pew-pew things, the things that go inside them. I don't think I can say it on here. You know what I mean? Like, that's the world where I want Amazon wish lists for body armor and shit. We're making them crowdfund that, and teachers have all the goddamn pencils they want. All of them. That's the difference between a leftist and the status quo demopums, pumocrats, Democrat, Republicraps, whatever they're called. They're all one uniparty. That's all it is. You've been fooled by red and blue, which is adorable. Adorable. It's almost childlike in your wonder, where you think one team wears red and one team wears blue, just like my favorite footballers. You're fucking adorable. You know that. Remove qualified immunity. 100%. We'll remove that too. Listen, we're just brainstorming. You know, we're going to have to rebuild from the ashes of whatever this global cabal of Epstein's buddies are going to do. So, you know, no wrong answers. Unless you're an oppressive tyrant, then just get the fuck out. But I would say no tyrant in history was able to read, but every single one of them burned the books. James Baldwin. White Dove Sam, good to see you. Love James Baldwin. That's another, listen, that's another great author. You want to read some good stuff, go read James Baldwin, or just listen to him speak. Yep, tough when both parties are just one party. Yes, that would be the difficult thing. They've somehow tricked Americans to think, oh, us two are different. Why does nothing change every 4 years besides the people who are angry? You know, there's one cult of Republicans who are like, oh, those Democrats are really trying to oppress us, man. They want us to wear masks. And then a Republican president comes in and they're like, everybody put on your mask. We got to go kick in some doors, waving the 4-4, tell them fucking, please, Papa, don't hit me no more while we violate your constitutional rights. Rights. What do curtains and drapes have to do with war? Another distraction. You know, I would have guessed they would have asked them about Epstein or World War Epstein. And Donald Trump was like, look at all these beautiful curtains. It's that and the dementia. You know, he's really not healthy. He's really not healthy. By the way, this is what I was talking about, rising from the ashes. So Putin, 73, Trump, 79. My Christ. I still can't get over the fact people were like, Joe Biden's so old. I'm going to vote for the guy his age. Like, you know how stupid you sound to, like, people with a brain? Like, MAGA, you got to understand how dumb you sound when you're like, I don't like that old, sleepy guy. I like this old, vibrant dementia patient. Fucking dumb. Netanyahu, 76. He's probably in Germany. I heard Hassan say Netanyahu's in the German Hitler bunker right now, which was hilarious. Modi, 75. Xi Jinping, 72. Khomeini, 86. Damn, he's 86. All of them have lived their lives and witnessed their peaks already. The next generation wants peace and growth, not World War III. And when they say generation, I would like to think it's all of the working class people across the globe. I can't imagine that the girls that woke up and went to school that morning, that their parents were, you know, hoping for something like this. I want you to really remember that, you know, because it's more than horrific. We should be, well, if you can't be vocal, that's fine. I'll do it for you. But we should be vocally speaking out against this criminal regime that is way past its prime, alleged to have done heinous things, and in no way should we show any support for this grotesque abuse of power, you know. And it's also pathetic too. It's just a bunch of slumping for the Epstein class. That's all it fucking is, man. That's all it is. Oh God, you really want to get devastated? Hold on, here we go. Humanity needs to evolve beyond violence, hatred, greed, selfishness, racism, sexism, bigotry, ignorance, nationalism, and ancient fairy tales. MAGA, Christian nationalists. Here's everything they stand for. I wouldn't even say they're pro-gun. They're only pro-gun if you're on their side. And here's the other principles that are, this is why I call them Al-Qaeda. This is why they are the white Taliban. Because there is no difference, man. And they all operate out of fear. That's all this is. He's scared to get his feelings hurt. You understand that is the deep root cause, the dark psychology behind him. That's why when he's asked questions, he talks about the curtains and the drapes. He goes to something familiar, something that he could just repeat again and again. I saved you so much money with those curtains. I saved curtains. Really? How much you spend in this war that you dragged us into? with none of our consent, like everything you do. He is terrified to fucking be embarrassed or humiliated. That's all. He operates off of fear. Off of fear. Hold on. What is this? What did I? Oh, look at this shit. Look at this shit. Remember yesterday I played for you how a cult collapses? It's from the inner voices, the people inside the room, inside the cult. They start to question things and it breaks apart and they start to go, this is crazy. And then I read for you Marjorie Taylor Greene, who she was like, this isn't what we signed up for. You know, this isn't America first. This is Israel first. This isn't helping people afford healthcare. This isn't helping affordability. This is, you know, robbing the taxpayers. That was Marjorie Taylor Horselegs Greene. Old horse legs herself. She's got some mighty stallion legs. This is Matt Walsh. You know, the fucking what is a woman guy? I'm pretty sure he grifted that phrase where you have these nerds come in here and be like, what's a woman? And I have to always tell them it's the human that covers their drink when you walk by, you know? It's the one you want to violate all their rights to. It's the one you don't want them to have bodily autonomy. That's what it is. But this is Matt Walsh, absolute freak and fucking, you know, cockroach of a human, saying, I can't take the gaslighting, guys. I really can't. Conservatives are now running around saying Iran has been waging war on us for 47 years. Okay, then why didn't any of you call for an attack on Iran at any point till now? Interesting. I've been saying that. Why didn't you make a case for Trump ending the war, not starting it until precisely the moment when Trump did? You and I both know that you were latching on to a talking point you never used till 45 seconds ago. You and I both know that almost every conservative influencer in the business was opposed to war with Iran till just now. And now you're trying to use justifications that stretch back decades. It doesn't make any sense. If you change your mind, fine. Oh, you know why this is so adorable? Let me finish reading. Say so. Explain why. You're allowed to change your mind. I've changed my mind about things, but don't try to rewrite history. Be honest about it. There's too much at stake to play these games. This is adorable in so many ways because this is Matt Walsh getting a wrinkle in his brain. He's critically thinking here. I know to you and I, this sounds dumb. We're like, no, they're liars. Their whole history is liars, grifters, and thieves. Oh my, right? But this is Matt Walsh being like, I think I'm being tricked. Like, this is like when you're fucking with, you know, somebody younger than you, and you're like, hey man, I'm the wallet inspector. You got to give me that wallet. I got to inspect it. And they're like, really? And you're like, yeah, man. Everybody that comes in here, I'm the wallet inspector. Give me a wallet. And I'm like, oh, okay, if everybody's doing it, you know. And you just take their wallet, which has been done to me. I learned the hard way when I was younger. This is Matt Walsh's moment where he's like, hey, wait a minute, guys. I think you might be lying. No shit. Wait. Donald Trump. Hold on. Let me get this straight, Matt Walsh. Donald Trump, the guy who said, you know, the Epstein files are a hoax, except for Bill Clinton. He might be lying? I encourage your journey of learning, Matt. Matt Walsh, if you're watching, don't hit subscribe. I really don't want you to. Everybody else, hit subscribe. But Matt, this is an independent journey you have to go on yourself. You have to take this vision quest all on your own, Matt, where you'll come to the conclusion that you've been a grifter and grifting the whole time. And I encourage this. You know, this is a blooming, blossoming little flower named Matt Walsh, who has been a right-wing media grifter for, I don't know, since he was born with that weird fucking, since his mom pooped him out. I'm assuming that's how he got the beard. But it's just adorable to be like, I can't take the gaslighting guy. Really? Because you've gaslit so many people. And now you can't tell, oh, enough is enough? Really? Does your no mean no, Matt? That's adorable. Hearing a Republican say no means no. Give me a fucking break. So I really wanted to highlight this because this is the cracks in the cult. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens. We're waiting for the Joe Rogan domino to fall. It's going to be a tough that's a tiny little 4'3" domino, but it's got some horse legs too. You know, he's got wild stallion legs. That's why he's always wearing them. Who is short shorts? You notice Joe Rogan's always flirting with the guys on his live stream. Oh man, he's always dressing to impress the cardiovascular guy. Look at how vascular my calves are. It's so funny. It's like, Joe, just come out the closet, man. You know, America's land of free. Express yourself how you want. We don't care. You're ice bathing in front of guys. Your whole audience is like, look at how much I work out. Joe, do it, man. Come on, Joe. Joe, you'd be a hero if you did. Nah, he probably would be. He's still shitbagging, ultimately compromised. But this is Matt Walsh starting to go, wait a minute. I think Donald Trump's gaslighting me. I mean, 60 years too late, Matt, but you know, it's good that you're getting there, buddy. Fucking adorable. It's funny, right? That's fucking hilarious, isn't it? Oh, here it is. The overwhelming majority of American public school teachers, 71%, hold at least one side job. This is what I was talking about earlier when I said in the radical woke leftist mob, you know, MAGA, we're the ones that you have nightmares about. You need your mom to put a pillow under your bed so we don't come out and give you health care. We don't make you crowdfund your health care anymore. We never have you go, no, call an Uber. Oh, heart attack. We want you to take that ambulance and use my tax money. That's right, MAGA. You heard me. My tax money can pay for your able-bodied medical care. That's right. That's what I want. Isn't that incredible? You see how that's done? You go, oh, it would be better for all of us. Because if you get to go to your doctor's checkup and have him stick his fingers up your, I don't know what the doctors do, up your mouth. I don't know where it goes. But, you know, chances are you'll be healthier, you'll live longer, you'll be grateful for that. And maybe that hardened heart that defends the Epstein class so bad will turn around and go, you know what? Maybe I want my money to help others too. It's a long shot, but I'm praying if I lead by example, because apparently that's all you do is follow fucking, you're subservient to bigger, better men than you are. And Donald Trump is not that, but you got grifted like Matt Walsh. But this is unacceptable. In a leftist world, cops should be working a side job, not teachers. And that's just the way it is. Hold on, I don't know if I want to do this. Do I want to do this? There's this story my wife sent me. God bless her, I love her so much. But reading it, it is just the most heartbreaking thing, because this is about American homes, American families. In 2024, families needed an income of $126,000 to qualify for a median price home, up from $79,000. Not looking good. Not looking good. That jump in 3 years. That priced 8 million renters out of the market. Noting that most renters make $50 to $60K a year. Okay? Wealthy individuals and institutions became a stronger force. The portion of all cash purchases rose 33% from 2020 to 2023. That's horrifying. Cash buyers scooped up more than half of homes in New York City. So again, not necessarily families, but people who have that cash. In West Palm Beach, Cleveland, and Miami, they made up more than a third of purchases. Mortgage desert. What does that say? Deserters? Mortgage desert formed in disinvested neighborhoods as well as in vacation towns and inexpensive cities. Hold on, I can't see the comments. As real estate investment trusts and landlords scooped up buy low, rent high properties. Real estate investment trusts and landlords. That does not make America better. You understand that? When MAGA has this all white neighborhood vision, number one, it's wrong and racist. America's never been that. They tried to. They redlined racial covenant deeds. They tried to be as racist as they could. And we, the people, stood the fuck up to it and said, fuck no. But this ain't good. you understand that if landlords and real estate investment fucking is buying it, that's not communities, that's not families, that's not building anything besides wealth for the Epstein class. Hold on. As well as in vacation towns, expensive cities, real estate investment trusts, and landlords scooped up by low rent high properties. In Baltimore, half of homes were purchased without a mortgage in 2022 and 23. Half of homes were just purchased with fucking cash. This is happening across America. The country still, I can't see what it says, many homeowners as it has renters. And the homeownership rate is only down 4 percentage points from George Bush. Nevertheless, the share of Americans owning a home has not climbed in 5 years. Oh, so it's down, but it also hasn't got, what are you talking about? Despite the low unemployment rate, well, that is not reported on correctly. Once you can't collect anymore, how do you get the number? Increasing wages and boom in assets values, an unprecedented trend. Many younger families just can't get on the property ladder. In the 80s, the typical first-time home buyer was in their late 20s. Typical buyers were in their 20s. Now they're nearly 40, according to some surveys. In the country's 50 largest metro regions, only 3.1% of people under the age of 30 have a mortgage. 3.1%. This is disgusting. The disappearance of the middle-class mortgage does not represent merely a short-form challenge for individual families. It portends major changes in the long-term financial security of the American middle class. There is no more American middle class. You're either working class or working poor. And then there's the elites, which I played the audio for the other day. McDonald's CEO, was like, well, we're seeing the working class not really come here anymore, so we're catering to the elites. I also played you the cereal CEO who said, oh, if you can't afford dinner, just buy my cereal. And you can have cereal for dinner, poor people. Why don't you just skip meals? I think that's what the Wall Street Journal said. Struggling being able to afford food that you need to live, just skip a meal. Soon enough, you'll see Fortune magazine saying, you know what the secret to being a millionaire is? They don't eat. And some of you will fall for it. So the middle class has disappeared. It does not exist. No one is surviving on government assistance. Who the fuck is saying that? Feel free to kick them the fuck out of here. If you think that people are queens on government assistance, you are a fucking Nimrod. Not only that, but you've never been on it. You don't understand the trap it is that as soon as you get one fucking penny over, they cut it out from under you, and basically you're earning like a quarter of what you did. Just shut the fuck up. You know who's a welfare queen? Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg. They get tax cuts and fucking tax exemptions and fucking our tax money in numbers that fucking would dwarf any kind of government assistance. So just shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and have a Matt Walsh type fucking what's it called? Not relevation, not elevation, revelation. Sorry. I had The Good Dinosaur. Has anybody seen that movie? I love that movie, The Good Dinosaur, where Steve Zahn is that pterodactyl, and he's like, I call it a relevation. I'm sorry. I'm crazy. The Waltons. I'm struggling bigly. Toothless talks, if that's what you're called. And that's what we here at this channel. Welcome, I'm Rob. Hit subscribe. That's what I speak out against every fucking day. Every day. We need an educated, class-conscious working class to understand epiphany. Thank you, Smoking Blondie. You need to have a Matt Walsh style epiphany that the government is telling you, hey, the poorest people, them poorest people, that's where all your money's going. Never mind us spending $2 billion in fucking your tax money in 3 days of war, 2 days of war, $1 billion a day. And counting. You know, this ain't stopping. What do you think? Donald Trump's paying for it? Oh, you're adorable. You think Elon Musk is chipping in? He's a trillionaire. You think he would? He loves America so much. No, it's our tax money, you fucking adorable little moron. You're such a cute little moron. I want to boop you on the nose, jingle my keys in front of you, get your attention back. Oh, God. I worked trauma nursing 20 years and now I cannot get a thing. It's repulsive that people will still have pride in this country when you can hear a nurse say something like that. When you can hear a teacher fucking put up an Amazon wish list. When you can hear that fucking these people are essential. Go give your life in service of the economy. We won't pay you enough to fucking even rent a place by yourself, but you're essential. When you can hear that propaganda and fucking not be disgusted, the language is in front of you. If you're essential, what does that mean? You're key, right? You're key to life. I would say water is essential for humans. Try having it in not a week. You can't. So if you're essential, that would mean you are fucking key to, I don't know, not only the economy, but us living, right? Pay these fucking people like it. Why is all that wealth being extracted from our communities, extracted from the people who fucking give their life in honor of the economy? That's what I mean. Really hear what they're telling you. They're lying to your face. They called you essential to get you out there and make them money while they sat on their fucking yacht and laughed it up. Bought off the politicians to dangle a carrot in front of you. I have no fucking pride in a country that will treat the men and women who save our lives when we're sick, the teachers who fucking give their lives in honor of education, when they treat them like nothing. Nothing. When you have to read about how 71% of teachers have a fucking side job. Take the funding from the cops. Make the cops have the side job. I guarantee you it will make them nicer. I guarantee it. Work in service for a little bit. If you don't get jaded, you'll get kinder to the human experience and you'll understand everyone's suffering. It just comes out in different fucking forms of venom. Suckers and losers. Yeah, remember when the president said that? 3 days without water is death. That's true. It's only the poor and the elite, no longer a middle class. Yep. Hector Barajas Varela, Daniel Torres, Erasmus Apodaca, Ivan Ocon, Edwin Salgado, Hector Lopez, Jose Barco, Jesus Suarez, Gigi Curian, Rudy Michael Miranda, Jose Francisco Lopez, deported veterans. It's in front of your eyes. If any magas are still here, I don't know. Or find this story. I forget what it was in. I didn't save it. My wife sent it to me and I read it, and it's crushing to think that not a long time ago, I'm old enough to remember when 20-year-olds were buying homes. Now that's not even close to a reality. And if you think there's fucking help coming along the way, keep praying. Keep praying, because it ain't. Congress gave themselves cost of living raises while they've kept the federal minimum wage at $7.29 since 2009. While they watched us live through 2020, called these people that put their lives on the line to save others, called them essential, then fucking break up their unions, side with the corporations when they strike, don't guarantee fucking paid leave or sick leave, don't guarantee vacation time federally. None of that's guaranteed. If you have a contract, that's nice, but I'm talking about what is federally guaranteed. None of it. How essential is that? Ever talk to a nurse? You know how easily they get burnt out because their job is so demanding and there are no patient quotas in most of these states? Talk about burnout, man. You just talk to any nurse who's lived through the past fucking 6 years. And you think the government thinks they're essential by not guaranteeing them time off? Nurses. We're not talking about fucking cops. We're talking about nurses. The one where after the cop beats you, you have to go and see. Like, they should be guaranteed something. You got to make over $100,000 a year to buy a home, man. If you're in my state of Massachusetts, you know, they spit on $100,000. You ain't buying a home, fuck, unless you're in Western Mass, 100,000. I mean, that's adorable. I don't know where that is, Oklahoma or something, but 2,300 a month in Indiana. Well, we just went over the other day. If you guys weren't here, I showed you only in Boston tweeted the most expensive cities, and Boston is, I think it was 3,700 for a 1-bedroom in Boston. 37 to rent. And when I brought that tweet up, I went, save it. Whoever's going to say just move, I'm like, I don't want to fucking live in the middle of the country. God bless you if you live there. I'm from Massachusetts. I've lived here my whole life. And you're telling me just give it to the rich people. And the thing is it's not rich people owning it. It's real estate fucking investment firms. It's BlackRock. It's people that can come in, pay cash, overpay for it, and then rent it for a fucking profit. They're not building communities. They're trying to fucking turn everything into a subscription-based society. You have to understand that. And they're using this Epstein pedo, Donald Trump, as their movement man. You know, he's making all the moves for him. He's fucking cutting the NLRB in half. He's fucking getting rid of the auditors for the wealthy people. These are all things he's done, by the way. You know, he put a union buster in the NLRB. When he fired the people from the IRS, you know who he fired? He fired the people that audit the wealthy. That's a specialty fucking audit because you have to know if they wrote their yacht off correctly or not. This isn't like average working people making $60K a year audits. This is like billions of dollars with teams of lawyers and Jeffrey Epstein, apparently. I don't know. He wasn't a registered CPA, but all these rich people were like, oh, he's my tax guy. Oh, that lie fucking came to the light. Fuck student loans. Two Flesh talks. Fuck student loans. Fuck the government with that student loans. They gave back all the people. They forgave all the PPP people. And those were rich fucking business owners. Tom Brady, Ben Shapiro, Kanye West. And you name it. Probably Kim Kardashian got a PP loan and got fucking forgiven. They could forgive student debt and more on top of that. It should be illegal. It should be a criminal fucking activity to gatekeep people from wanting to get an education. If you believe in making your country better, not even great. Fuck great. Just a little bit better. You don't gatekeep. Just look at why Nixon, was it Nixon who implemented the student loans? Because they understood the fucking educated working class is going to be the most dangerous thing. And what do we have now? We have a cult of fucking personality, of a pedo personality. That's even worse. My Christ. Our group got denied by Trump. Well, the thing is Biden, Trump, I say fuck them all, you know. That's when the radical left takes over, which we will, you know, we'll rise from the ashes. We have the revolutionary optimism here. We're erasing all that student debt. And anybody that fucking chirps the fuck up, anybody that says like, oh, my tax dollars, it's like, you don't give a shit. And let me break this down real simple. If we got Cuba's cure or vaccine for lung cancer, would you be saying, well, I knew someone who died from cancer, so I don't want you to be able to not. Like, that's what you sound like to normal people. Like, oh, you might have paid it off, or you might have fucking had your parents pay it off, so you don't want anybody else to not suffer under poverty of these fucking loan shark loans? You kidding me? Fuck out of here. Hello, I'm in Wisconsin. My sister, who's 41 years old, became a diesel mechanic. She said her loans were forgiven. Should I have to pay 1 penny? Should I have to pay 1 penny back? Just be careful. When they promise you these loan forgiveness things, they're not setting up to be your friend. It's usually a trick. And I only say that because the school I went to got sued by the federal government as being a fucking scam. And they didn't wipe my loans. So I filed a fucking case, and what I did was copied and pasted the government's lawsuit against my for-profit university, word for word, and put it in my fucking, like, this is why my school is a scam. Like, literally, the government had a lawsuit against my school saying it fucking lied about shit, and I copied it word for word and never heard back. And I'm like, these are your, I didn't even do this. You guys fought the case. I used your lawyer's shit. I literally just copied and pasted it. And I said, this has got to be an easy one. It's clearly a scam. Nothing. They ain't out for us. The loan forgiveness is only temporary. Yeah. It's only temporary if you resume engaging in it. Here's the thing, you know, there's a couple notes I'll take from MAGA. Let me pull this down. Where nobody likes paying their mortgage, but many Americans are going to wish they had the chance to. Oh, haunting, fucking haunting. Here's this thing. Let me just say this. There's two things that I will take from MAGA. They worship, you know, and they want to be like Trump. I won't do that, but I will act accordingly. So if the president says, you know, there's no laws, he's supposed to, Epstein Transparency Act, he's supposed to release it, right? He hasn't. He's breaking the law. I just want to be presidential. I just want to act presidential. Let me just say this. Donald Trump really makes me want to act presidential. And what I mean by that is like, well, if he doesn't have to abide by the laws, why should we? He sets the tone. If his fucking administration, if his fucking Epstein army, ICE, boots on the ground, don't have to go by the laws, I just want to be like the government. I just want to mimic them. That's all I'll say. They're leading by example. Isn't that what they want you to believe? They're rough and tough and tumble, and they're the manliest men ever, and be like us. And, you know, I won't worship them, but I will take notes. I will say, oh, if you don't think there's any laws, Donald Trump, and you just get to break them, if you get to ignore judges, what makes you so different? He does work for us. Remember that. You think he's up on this pedestal, but the truth is he's a public servant paid for with our tax dollars, and he works for us. So if I saw my employee fucking acting like that, I'd go, fuck it. Right? What did Pete Hegseth say? Let me see. What did old Petey, what did you say, buddy? He said some shit. No, that's not it. Oh, here, he said, no more rules of engagement.
Question about 4 weeks. It's the typical NBC.
Typical? Somebody been glug, 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 glug.
Gotcha type question. President Trump has all the latitude in the world to talk about how long it may or may not take. 4 weeks, 2 weeks, 6 weeks. It could move up, it could move back. We're going to execute at his command the objectives we've set out to achieve. And what he is...
What are the objectives? Can you clarify? Oh, you're not going to anyways.
Shown an ability to do that other presidents can't quite seem to have the aperture to do. Well, I mean, Joe Biden didn't even know what he was doing, is to look for opportunities and off-ramps and escalations for the United States that creates new opportunities to execute what we need on our own timeline. So you can play games about 4 weeks.
You sound like you're playing games right now, man. She just asked, like, how long do you think this is going to be? And you're talking about fucking aperture and Joe Biden. Like, bro, stop with the word salad and just fucking answer the question.
5 weeks. He has all the latitude, and I'm glad he does, because there's no better communicator than our president expressing those things. I've been in meetings with the president for the last 2.5 days. We know exactly where his headspace is, and he will communicate as he should exactly what he would like. And
oh, wait, this isn't even it. Hold on. That was not even it. Hold on. Hegseth. What did he say? No rules of engagement. Yeah.
Unlike so many of our traditional allies who wring their hands and clutch their pearls, hemming and hawing about the use of force, America, regardless of what so-called international institutions say, is unleashing the most lethal and precise air power campaign in history, all on our terms, with maximum authorities. No stupid rules of engagement, no
stupid rules of engagement. No stupid rules of engagement.
No nation-building quagmire, no democracy-building exercise, no politically correct wars.
Hey man, no more of these woke wars where you're like, is that women and children? Pfft, man, that's so woke, you know? He's bringing this to like a macho, you know, DEFCON 5 level. That's what's really going on here. Hegseth is like, no more woke wars. No silly rules of engagement. This is not going to be a PC war, you know? They're just bombing little girl schools, you know? You hear what these fuckers are saying, right? You hear this, right? They're telling you to your face. What they're saying is, there's no rules for us. We do whatever the fuck. They are literally Cartman. They are goddamn Cartman. They are goddamn Cartman. I can't believe it.
You will respect my authority.
They are literally Cartman. I can't fucking get over that. And they're telling you. The rules, there are no rules. Exactly. That's exactly what he just said. It was long and very winded, but what I could have summed up for Pete Higgs, he just wanted to say no more politically correct wars. So that was a dog whistle for Joe Rogan. Because, next, I don't know when Joe Rogan releases his podcast, but the next one, he'll probably have some like anti-woke warmongerer on, that works for the CIA because they're awfully busy right now. And Joe Rogan will be like, it's just about time we've got rid of, when you think about wars, they're very woke, like think about this, no women, no children. Same with like, when people were, when people were on the Titanic, it was so woke. That's why Rose lived and Leonardo DiCaprio died. It was the woke mob allowing her to live. Like this dude is literally saying there's, the only rule is there's no rules. Prison rules.
Our campaign in history, all on our terms, with Max.
That's it. Who was that? Two Fleas? Two Fleas, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. He just said it. It's on our turn. We play by our own rules, man. It's prison rules. Anything goes. Never mind shirts and skins. We play shorts and no shorts. That's how Pete Hegseth plays. Never mind the shirts and skins business. He plays shorts and no shorts. Him and Joe Rogan out there with the danglers, boxing each other out.
Maximum authorities. No stupid rules of engagement.
Yeah, these are so stupid. Rules of engagement. Oh, you gotta be engaged. Oh, you can't just get after anybody. So stupid. Ugh. God, finally unleashing the Kraken, right? This Operation Epstein Fury is really brain rot for the masses.
Nation building quagmire, no democracy building exercise.
Yeah, we're not trying to build democracy. We are an oligarch of the Epstein capitalist elite, and that's what we sought to defend. And MAGA, they thank you for your service. I'm just kidding. They'll never thank you. They fucking don't even know you exist.
Exercise, no politically correct wars. We fight to win, and we don't waste time or lives.
I would say, if I may, Pete, there's quite a few lives you've already wasted in that non-politically correct. What the fuck does that even mean? Non-politically correct. These people are top tier morons. Like, it doesn't get any stupider than this. Like, if stupid was a profession, Pete Hegseth would have nailed. His resume was chef's kiss AI fucking right through. My Christ. Thank you for your Dan Lalonde. Thank you for your attention to this matter. They will all claim that the same thing when this court goes to court as a war crime. Yeah, when the tribunals happen, they've already... Listen, somebody, I forget who it was, somebody was already like, we were just following orders. Because there was a great meme that says, yeah, that didn't work in Nuremberg. I don't think it's at The Hague. I don't think that's working now. But you could try. You can try. Jean shorts, no shorts. So, I forgot RFK Jr. and Bobby Ritchie, a.k.a. Kid Rock, a.k.a. Epstein Island, likes the jorts. Edward, that's a good one. Remember, when you're pointing a finger at somebody, there's three pointing back at you. Still, I can't for the life of me what a non-politically correct war is. Maybe this one. Actually, hey, what's up, Sunshine Lacrosse? Good to see you again. 350 million people and these fools are in charge. This is why I advocate for a well-educated public. Because I'd like to think if you just taught people, what a grifter was. If you just even played a clip of Donald Trump a montage of all the times he said absolutely disgusting, pathetic things about women in school to young kids, they'd even be like, ew, ew, you know, and we'd never have this again. Oh, God. Everybody in this administration points a finger at somebody else. That's what I was talking about earlier when Donald Trump said, what the fuck did he say? He goes, I think I thought about this the most, but I'll have to ask Marco. I'm like, anybody who tells me I've thought about this more than anyone else and then says, but ask him, I'd be like, I thought, what the fuck? What are you talking? No, you thought about it the most. That's what you said. You were contemplating deep in thought. When Donald Trump was asked why there wasn't an evacuation plan for Americans in the Middle East, he passed the buck on top of saying nobody's thought about it more than him.
Well, because it happened all very quickly. We thought, and I thought maybe more so than most, I could ask
More so than most.
Marco.
Why would you, wait, so I'm confused. Are you asking Marco if you thought about it the most? Is that, maybe that's what he meant. He was like, well, I could ask Marco if he thinks I think the most about it. Like, this is a moron. This dude is a fucking toad. He not only looks like a toad, but he sounds like a toad. Like, you could just say there wasn't an evacuation plan because we needed to do it by surprise. Instead, he was like, I moved so fast, I don't know, I thought about this the most. Really, I was the most thinker.
Thought, and I thought maybe more so than most, I could ask Marco, but I thought we were going to have a situation where we were going to be attacked. They were getting ready to attack Israel.
That's not an answer. You understand, like, any common fucking folk can understand, like, no. You not having an evacuation plan is not a fucking, or what you're saying is not a response to you not having an evacuation plan. You can't be like, well, I didn't have one because I thought they were going to attack us. If you thought that, if you truly thought that, you'd be like, let's first get an evacuation plan and then we'll set up that. Right? That's just common sense. If you care about Americans. He doesn't, so this is all bullshit, but that's my point. He was like, I think I thought the most about this, but I'll have to ask Marco. He's really the guy who knows how much I think.
Whoa.
Hold on. This fucking cat is back. Oh, we got somebody with Epstein dysfunction. Ooh, they already got him. Thank you. 16 tones. What's up? Remember who sat on the Afghanistan withdrawal on a time frame that dropped it on the next administration? He never had a plan then. He doesn't have one now. Yep. U.S. government to American citizens. Oh, Charlie Kelly, what's up, man? U.S. government to American citizens in Israel. You are on your own. There are no flights out. I'm sorry, the airport's closed. And for good reason, too. Donald Trump thought about it the most. That's what he said. So, hey, Americans in the Middle East, don't worry. Your president really thought about it. Hold on, I gotta skip this ad. I wanted to play. If you haven't heard Professor Zhang from Predictive History, I linked him in the comments. I wanted to play some of this because he predicts the U.S. will lose war with Iran, which, no shit, Sherlock.
You've seen so far that leads you to sort of stand firm in that conclusion?
So, given my analysis of how the war is progressing, I think that Iran has many more advantages over the United States. The reality is that right now, it's a war of attrition between the United States and Iran. And the Iranians have been preparing 20 years for this conflict. In their eschatology, in their religion, this is a war against the great Satan. They've had many practice runs. Last June was a 12-day war when the Iranians were able to examine and analyze the strike capacities of both the Israelis and the Americans. And they've had a lot of time, 8 months, to prepare fully for this new attack. They, through their proxies, the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Shia militias, have been able to really grasp the American mentality.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't waste lives except for all those kids at school. It's so crazy. Oh, little shadow tabby. You say, oh, she's purring so hard. 1/3 of all American debt is because of Donnie T. Donnie Epstein's best friend, T. Facts first. 160 school-age girls. Yeah, I heard it was 9 to 12 years old. That's horrifying. You shouldn't give a what country people are from. If you're like, this is what I hate about MAGA. Before the Epstein files came out, they were like, protect the children, right? Where does that extend to? You know, which ones? Really? I need it fucking spelled out for me. Which children? Or is it only particular ones? These pathetic fucking losers.
And now they have a pretty good strategy of how to weaken and ultimately destroy the American empire. So what the Iranians are doing is they're waging war against the entire global economy.
Smoke a Blondie, your cat should live chat with my cats. Oh, she will. She's watching this video. She likes Professor Chang. I told you, she's a comrade. Communist kitty. Right? Yes. A stateless, classless society. I know. This is Comrade Mao. This is Comrade Mao. All right, kitty. Okay. You got to be right up in the business. I get it.
And so they are striking the GCC countries. And not only are they striking...
That's the Gulf Coast countries, right? Or the whatever it is. That's like the UAE and... Was it Kuwait? I forget. There's a bunch of countries that he's been talking about that are getting struck and are dragged into this. Not to mention that Europe is... Well, I'll let him...
GCC countries, American bases, they're going after the critical energy infrastructure of these bases. They block off the Strait of Hormuz. And eventually, they will go after the water desalination plants, which is the lifeblood of these nations because they don't have fresh water supply. In fact, the water desalination plants provide 60% of the GCC's water supply. So if a drone, and these drones cost $50,000, if they wipe out a desalination plant in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and it's a city of 10 million people, right? They'd be out of water in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. And right now, the Iranians have de facto closed off the Strait of Hormuz, and the GCC gets 90% of its food from the Strait of Hormuz. So I know a lot of people are talking about the disruptions to the global economy, but right now, the Iranians are actually threatening the very existence of Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, Qatar. And why this is important is that the Gulf states are really the linchpin of the American economy. So what they do is they sell petrodollars and then they recycle the petrodollars back into the American economy through the investments in the stock market. And right now we know that the entire American economy is propped up by AI investments in data centers. And a lot of that comes from the Gulf states. So if the Gulf states are no longer able to sell oil and they're no longer able to finance AI, this AI bubble in the United States.
Or finance Elon Musk buying Twitter like the Saudis did.
Then this AI bubble will burst, and with it will burst as well as the entire American economy, which is really a financial Ponzi scheme. Right. So that's a dire situation that the Americans are facing.
The entire American economy is a Ponzi scheme. Professor Zhang gets it.
Right now.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, sir, an Amazon data center was literally hit in the UAE.
So there is some good coming out of this.
And now, of course, big tech companies, which were looking at the UAE as a major potential data center investment hub with cheap and abundant energy, probably going to be rethinking that. We also want to talk to you about munitions. We could put this next one.
Okay. So watch all of that. That's on Breaking Points, Professor Zhang. Or what I would highly suggest is the video I put in the description. It is Predictive History. That is where Professor Zhang uploads all this stuff. Pretty incredible. Especially today's video, if you get to watch it. It's Game Theory, U.S. versus Iran, the Epstein saga. A continuation of the Epstein saga. Thanks, Obama. Biden. Yeah, thanks, Obama, for the Ponzi scheme of the Gulf Coast states funding our AI bubble. Jesus. It's going to suck when it pops, but it's due, Here's the thing. When you're an American with no health care, no fucking land, nothing to do besides just work every day and hope to get egg at the end of the month, if this all collapses, this is why I don't understand the rich don't get. If this shit collapses, you think we got something to lose? Bitch, I can't afford to go to a dentist without taking out a credit card. You think I'm invested in this economy? I'm sorry. You might have fucking not understood what I just said. We have to get credit cards to go to the dentist. Okay? You think I'm invested in not letting this shit crumble and see what fucking the dice roll is for coming out of the ashes? Are you kidding? Are you all right? I don't own all that housing we just talked about that real estate investors bought so they could use algorithms to spike rent on people. I don't fucking I'm not invested in this economy. I don't understand how the rich don't get this. They're invested in it. Soon as it starts to crumble, I'm cheering this the fuck on. And I encourage you to too, in little ways, whatever you can. Make a sticker, hold up a sign, speak out on YouTube. These silly rabbits truly think we're invested. Whatever it may be the illusion of this is for God. If you didn't see this in the news today, what is it? A commander opens by saying, this is all part of God's divine plan. Continues on saying that President Trump has been anointed by Jesus. I want proof. Everything's on video. Show me where Jesus anointed him. To light the signal fire. This is some goddamn fucking Michael Bay movie style writing right here. In Iran to cause Armageddon and mark his return to Earth. The funniest thing about this is, these are fake Christians, because if you know anything about Christ, he says, like a thief in the night. Like a thief in the night. No one will know the day, the hour, or the time. If you think you're going to light a signal fire for Jesus to return, you missed his message, goofball. And where do you think this mindset is coming from? From the Epstein class, who is trying to pervert. I always say they use Jesus like a fucking baton, like a police fucking baton. Please don't hit the keyboard. Thank you. And this is to rally up their hardcore nationalist base. But the other irony of this is, if you know anything about these Revelations, Armageddon, written by John when he was in exile, number one, it's just not Jesus. Number two, it's amazing to me that these Christian Zionists have the wool pulled over Israel's eyes so deeply, because if you know anything about this Armageddon, it's not to save everyone. Let me just say that. The reason they're hoping to light the signal fire for Jesus to return is, I don't know if you've read into these fucking Babylonian fucking predictions and prophecies, but Jesus isn't coming back going, I'm saving all of you. If you get what I'm putting down. You could read about it. You could easily look this stuff up. So essentially, they're doing this to Judas Israel, if that makes any sense. But it's just fucking nuts, man. Like the perversion of a thief and a night. He will come like a thief and a night. Well, he's going to be riding on a horse with a sword, like a lightning bolt, right? It's white Jesus they're talking about. Yeah. Smoking Blondie. We should, every time we discuss this, we should make the fucking preference of saying this. Listen, they're speaking about white Jesus, which must be in the Trump Bible made in China. It must have a totally different story, where white Jesus comes back. You know what? I wouldn't put it beyond them if they had a different story for a white Jesus. We'll have to survive to see if the guy in the sky is Ubering down. He's like, guys, listen, it was just cheaper. I just took an Uber here. He just pulls up in an Uber. He's like, listen, I know you expected thunder and lightning. Me riding on a galloping white stallion holding a fucking sword like lightning. But, my deductible was out of this realm, man. I had an Uber here. Weird, Santa was white too. Yeah, I believe he started as a Old Nicholas Klaus, which, I don't know, is Klaus a Middle Eastern name? Ronald McDonald was white, too. Uber price gouging caused the delay. So Uber was like, listen, it was a high traffic time. They were dynamic pricing. I've been clicking through the past streams live for the past hour. What's the gimmick here? Ice Wolf, no gimmick. Just chatting, as they say on Twitch. And I got a very smug cat. Yes, you're very smug. But so, you know, this is the stuff that's going on in the world. It's mostly bullshit. Just understand that this dude's all over the Epstein files. Who will go to World War Epstein to avoid having Netanyahu and Israel release the tapes of him doing absolutely disgusting, debaucherous things that the party of family values shouldn't stand up for, but they do. And that's really what's going on. It's all a distraction. It is disgusting at this distraction. I want to show you guys this, though. No, I already showed you that. No, don't look again. Don't you dare look again. It was this one. Because this is hopefully inspiring. Because we still have to live our lives. We still have to go to work so we can all try to save up for egg, right? Nobody's owning a home anymore. So we're just, you know, our focus is egg. We just want egg, man. We just want egg. But look at this. This is a beautiful thought process if you can subscribe to it. It's not always true at 100, let's just say, but it always is the truth. Success is just one more time. If you knew you were 100 rejections away from your dream, think how excited you would be every time someone told you no. I'm going to be very honest. I have this mentality when MAGA tells me, oh, keep dreaming. Oh, you want other people to pay for your health care? Oh, you want to use taxes? You want to tax billionaires? 100%. I haven't moved on that ground for a long time, and I'm not going to, because you know what? I'm 100 rejections away from that dream coming true. Understand me. When people call me crazy when I say $66 minimum wage, and they go, never happen. Okay. What was it, Orville and fucking something Wright brothers, where their neighbors were probably like, they're at it again, trying to do that flying thing. And they were like, all right. Just like people told me, you know, why don't you quit this? And they tell me to shut up. And I go, okay. I'll see you in your life, I guess, right? No, you chicken shit. If you knew you were 100 rejections away from your dream, how excited would you be every time someone called you crazy? Someone said it will never happen. Someone said whatever. I really want you to consider that. That's how I live my fucking life. I don't give a shit who calls me crazy, because my vision for the world is not these PDF files in charge. It's for you to have healthcare, guaranteed. For you to have housing, guaranteed. For you to take 4, 5, 6 vacations, work 15 hours a week, 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's fucking it, with the guaranteed vacations. Doesn't that sound good? Who? MAGA? MAGA, I want you to tell me you don't want to take 5 vacations a year because you want Jeff Bezos to buy a 3rd yacht. That's what I'd like you to say, MAGA. That's what I want. I don't want you to say anything else in the comments. I want you to say, I don't want any guaranteed paid vacations. I don't. I want Jeff Bezos to use that time for me, because he clearly used it wisely, investing $40 million into Melania's DVD or documentary. We 100% want to tax them 95%. No, see, you're dreaming too small for me, 16 stones. Anything over $1 billion, you're taxed at 100%. You're going to have to live off 999 million. If I said this to myself in the 90s, I probably would have slapped myself. I would have been like, there's no fucking billionaire. What are you talking about? $999 million? Who can't live on that? Who can't buy all the houses, jet skis, and cats that you want? Who can't rescue every fucking foster dog? Who couldn't fucking make sure that no veteran goes homeless? Who couldn't ensure that fucking teachers had all their supplies with $999 million? Are you fucking kidding me? So dream bigger, 16 tones. Come on, man. I believe in you. I believe in you. I'd be down for a 4-day, 10-hour work week personally. Well, listen, Ice Wolf in the UK, I talked about this last year when the story came out. In the UK, they went down to a 4-day work week. And out of the 100 corporations that tried it, I think it was like 93 to 97% of it stayed with it. Because, again, if you just read about history in this book, Utopia for Realists, no, Cat. If you read, you'll find out that once the unions fought, used to work 7 days a week, 12 to 14 hours a day before regulations came in. Libertarians are a joke. They're just corporate fucking bootlickers. Because, regulations keep your air, water, you safe at work, all that stuff. But, so no serious person is a libertarian unless you're one of the Koch brothers, But before the unions fought and died, people in unions fought and died to give you a weekend. Once that happened, these robber barons, Henry Ford and stuff, realized, when people have time off and they have money, our business does better. The workers don't have as much turnover. There's not as much injuries. And this is all just factual. And think about it. It just makes sense, right? If you're overworked and you're a nurse, you might make a mistake. But if you have enough time to live your life, relax, and sleep, and be paid to afford egg, you're going to come in refreshed. It's only basic common sense. So the 4-day work week, what we were talking about in the UK, those corporations realized the turnover stopped. People were living better, so they were more productive at work. And the businesses actually made more revenue. The reason we don't have it is because of power. They just want to have power over us. That's why they say don't retire. That's why they're taking your education. That's why they're keeping you from healthcare, because it's not about money. They have all the money. Did you not read the Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein birthday card where he's like, money in the world isn't everything. You and I know that. We have all of it. Well, Donald Trump had his dad's and Epstein has Israel's. But the point is they have all the money in the world. You ask yourself, what does somebody need $1 trillion for? $1 trillion. Elon Musk has $1 trillion. Jeff Bezos has 200-something billion. There's nothing they can't buy, nothing they can't do, no law they can't overcome, no mountain high enough, no mountain too low. What is it? It's the power. They can buy all the politicians, the Democrats and the Republicans. They can afford the greatest lawyers and to not be contacted or serve subpoenas or not have to face justice. There's a 2 fucking tier society that we live in. They tell you, obey the laws. Hey man, don't talk against the government. That's illegal now. And then there's them in the Epstein files and they're like, we're not investigating this. And if you are silent, you're complicit. It's just that simple. And some people are vocally for Jeff Bezos just owning everything. They're just like, I don't care. As long as he lets me pee in those bottles and never take a break, I'm good. And those are the simple-minded fucking people that, will learn the hard way. They'll learn the hard way how much fucking free healthcare is good for them. They will. They're probably scared of the doctor. They don't want it, but we're going to tax these billionaires at 100%. He's going to Mars. Bear, listen. The day he's not going to Mars anymore, he restructured that plan. If you didn't read about it, I did because I thought it was hilarious. Just like in 2017, Elon Musk promised Tesla lovers, it's gross, Tesla lovers, he was going to create another roadster. And he took $100,000 from 2,000 people. And the roadster doesn't exist, just so you know. 10 years ago, he took like $1 million from people to put a down payment on a Tesla Roadster, and it doesn't fucking exist. Is that not, that's a legal grift. Like, he can just say it's coming next year and never give those people their money back. I would love to find one of those people and see, like, how many years are you willing to wait to get that Roadster from Elon Musk? But yeah, if you didn't read that Elon Musk said we're not going to Mars, now we're going to the moon because he realizes you can't fucking live on Mars. You can't. Watch a science channel, they'll be like the gravity is so crazy and the fucking radiation which the Earth protects us from, that's why we want to protect the Earth. You can't live there unless you're going to live underground, which good luck. You know, have fun living underground on Mars. So yeah, when he first announced he was going to Mars, I was all for it. I said, Elon, put a Neuralink chip in your brain and go to fucking Mars and don't come back. You want to go there? You want to occupy Mars? That's a t-shirt he wears, or you're not wearing it anymore. But I was all for it. I was like, please go the fuck to Mars and have one of those monkeys put a Neuralink chip in your brain and get the fuck out of here. Or just leave America. Go back to fucking Africa. That's why I like to say Elon Musk. He's the only person you're allowed to say that to. Elon, Kimball, Errol, or May. That's the Musk family. If you don't know Errol, that's his dad, and he married Elon Musk's stepsister. And that's a true story. You can look it up. And there's some heinous allegations about his dad. So yeah, those are the only 4 people you can say go back to Africa to. Elon, Kimball, Errol, and May. Musk. Those absolute disgusting, pathetic, apartheid-loving, grifting parasites. You can say go back to Africa to them. There's not enough gravity to sustain our bone density on Mars or the moon. Facts first. I like you, Michelle. Appreciate that. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. We need people like you here. Because this is a community. This is a collaborative effort. That's why I say no idea, unless it's an oppressive bootlicking one, is a bad idea, and how we pave forward through the ashes of whatever this Epstein class is going to leave us with. I can't wait for that bubble to burst. I want to see Sam Altman fucking begging for change and say, you should not have bought a new iPhone, buddy. You should not have bought a new Chappy GPT, or whatever you're calling it. Maybe you should have saved some of those trillions of dollars, huh? Huh, big guy? They don't like it when we say that to them. Oh, you need our tax money? Maybe you shouldn't have spent so many billions. Oh. Elon Musk gets $8 million a day from the government in subsidies. You know what a subsidy is? It's like socialism for a corporation. It's your tax money. Just so you know, you're paying a trillionaire your tax money. How's that fucking feel? And by the way, his companies don't pay taxes. It's so hilarious. I love when people are like, 12 years ago, he paid $1 billion. It was like, you know he's a trillionaire. That's like saying, like, I one time paid a nickel in taxes. Like, it's not the brag you think it is. You have to update your Neuralink? Neuralink? What is that? I gotta look that word up. Some words I don't know. Neuralink. Oh my God. It's a primary medication used to treat vitamin B12 deficiency. God damn, Charlie coming in with the $13 word. Was that Charlie? That was Charlie Kelly from It's Always Sunny. But Charlie, that reminds me of the Always Sunny episode where Charlie becomes a genius. Oh my God. And then he was just like hallucinating. Now you're going to make me watch that episode. Don't do that. Thank you for the $13 word. Holy shit. That was so funny. I'm glad I learned 2 words today. Hyperglossic and neuralic, if I'm pronouncing that correct. And hopefully you learned them too. Were you taking notes? 2018 to now, they paid 0 income taxes. Thank you, Smoking Blondie. This is what I talk about, a collaborative effort. Because I can't know everything, folks. I just know that the rich are a luxury we can no longer afford. They're just, they're too needy, greedy, and seedy, and deceitful. And they're just, I just want you to imagine if you had $1 trillion. Okay, I'd probably try to, train some dolphins, wild ones, or orcas. I would probably try to swim with orcas, okay? I would splurge. I would swim with some fucking orcas and be terrified, But then after that, wouldn't you fucking help people? All these people do is oppress people. If you pay $1 billion in taxes, but he makes $76 billion, it's only 1.5%. He should have paid $25 billion in taxes. That's my point. When people brag about it, but it wasn't even billions. Like, I made it $1 billion. People brag about him paying, like, I forget, like a few $100 million. I've heard Joe Rogan talk about it. Joe Rogan's like, well, when Elon did pay taxes, it was like hundreds of millions. And it's like, dude, he's a fucking trillionaire. You're kidding me right now. Like, you're fucking anybody who's like, he paid hundreds, I'm like, he could afford. He's not going, oh, how am I going to afford car insurance this month? Like, are you kidding me right now? I just don't get people that simp for that. What would I do with $20? I don't know, man. Give it to somebody. What's it going to do for fucking me? You know? Like, seriously. Trump still hasn't shown his Bear 2026. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I love that you brought that up because that's a little known fact that people forget. In 2015, Donald Trump said, I'm being audited, but as soon as it's over, I'll show my taxes. And then in 2017, somebody leaked his taxes and he's suing them. And this is the guy, Matt Walsh, was like, hey, man, I feel like I'm being gaslit right now. Like, really? Now? Okay, we'll take it. We'll take it. If they're starting to see through the facade, then we'll take it. I can bring the list and nerd out on taxes forever. Oh, yo, we might have to do that one of these days because as soon as people start understanding that typically nurses, the working class people are going to pay 22%, a 22% effective tax rate, right? That's just usually what you're paying, right around there. Donald Trump's big, beautiful, bitch-ass bill cut corporate taxes to 21%. Trillion-dollar companies, the biggest Fortune 500 companies in the world, if they even pay taxes, which they won't, they have too many write-offs and they fired all the IRS people. But if they did, they would still pay 1% less than people working to afford egg. And egg is a metaphor for everything. That's fucking despicable. That's despicable that anyone can look at Donald Trump and be like, oh yeah, he cares about me. That's why he made trillion-dollar companies like Apple, Target, Walmart, who get our subsidies, by the way, in the form of helping people eat, Tesla, Google, all of these companies have a lower tax rate than the working class. 21%, you can read it in his bill, it's there. He's banking on your poorly educated, that you won't read it, that you'll just trust that he's got your best interests. If you trust him so much, go to war for him. Anyways, yeah, he cut corporate taxes to 21%. You're paying 22, but that's all right. Thank God my chickens don't know about capitalism. Yeah, you see a pecking hierarchy of pyramid scheme. I pay 15.9 just in self-employment tax. Yeah, this is what I mean. It's so gross at how we're taxed not for healthcare, potholes, making sure people don't die by eating food, but so they can spend $2 billion in 2 days in a war with Iran over Epstein. Fucking A, man. Fucking A. This whole... I'm convinced that there's two things that we got on him, right? We can take a joke and make a joke, right? We have satire. When they say, oh, I saved on curtains, I wish I was there to raise my hand and say, what about the war? How much are you spending on the war? Does that balance out with the curtain money saving? Donald Trump, instead of answering questions about the war, he said, I've saved the U.S. money because I found these curtains. So I'm just wondering if they're $2 billion curtains because that's how much you just spent in 2 days on the war. But we have the comedy aspect where, we would raise our hand and say stuff like that. Like, is those curtains canceling out the trillions that you added to the deficit? I'm just curious how much we're saving with those curtains. That's funny shit that we should be asking them, because if they're going to make a mockery of our country, we need to. But the other thing we have is, and remember this, everyone, even my friends in the Netherlands, I got to figure out a few words to say so I can say, hello, how are you? I'll do that later. But the other thing we have across the world is we're not invested in this shit. I know Wall Street Bets is like, I have 100 shares of this. Shut up. You're not BlackRock. None of us are truly invested. We can't get health care. We can't own a home. We're all struggling to afford whatever. You're all working 1 or 2 jobs. Are you invested in propping up the fucking framework of where you have to work 2 to 3 jobs to not afford your fucking deductible? You know what I mean? I really want people to think about that. We are not as invested as they think. We're not even invested as we think. We think we're invested because, oh, we're comfortable right now. You know, we could go to a whatever's in your head. Like, you know, well, I'm just getting by. That's not the life I want to live. That's not why we're here. We're not in service to this pedophilic class. We're just not. We are just fucking not. Where is this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful? Don't tell me I can't find it. Give me 1 second. I think that's what it's called. Here it is. So, like BUNKBED COFFIN song, Flower on a Grave, I say, place your flowers on the grave of this bubble pyramid scheme economy and kiss it goodbye, and let's rise from the ashes. I love all of you. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to, especially to all of the mods. You guys are amazing. Thank you for keeping the clean chat and participating. This is a community. I can't do it without you. And if you can, hit subscribe. It's free. Hit the notification bell. Join me every weekday. Oh, Miss Crafty Monica, thank you. I hope you hit subscribe. Hold on, I'm gonna pause it because who the fuck was that? Okay, thank you. Yeah, you talk about Kurt Cobain with disrespect. This is BUNKBED COFFIN, but you talk about Kurt Cobain with disrespect. My mods already know to get you the fuck out of here. Don't do it. Don't even play. That's the one. We'll keep a few things sacred, okay? The people that brought us grunge, Tupac, the Black Panther. There's a few things we keep sacred around here, okay? Class consciousness. Mrs. Crafty, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh, and Orion Bryan, big shout out to you, man. Thank you for the Cash App. I seen that yesterday. I'm very grateful because that money goes directly to me. I know YouTube takes a cut, but I'm very grateful for the people who sponsor the show. The plan is to get big enough where we can do this thing live, where we can do this in a studio, where I can pull up clips. That is the plan. That is the goal. And then we can reach a larger audience, hopefully. And let's be honest, there's going to be cats all over the studio. Just fate. You know, if you're a guy that's scared of a guy with cats, I pray you overcome that fear. I really do, because there's a lot of them. And they love me. No Philly disrespect. Zhang Wei, 100%. No disrespect to Philly. You put respect on Philly's name when you speak of Philly. That's awesome. You lost 30 pounds? Solidarity. Always, always, comrade. Solidarity, comrade. Shy Pixie, good to see you. Good to see all of you. You got a house full of cats? There we go. I was just talking about ferrets the other day. Eggy Rose, good to see you. They hurt. My cats asleep on my legs. They hurt. Send help. Hi, Bong Hurley. Great name, by the way. I'll send my cat, okay? I'll send a rescue cat. I'll send a rescue cat to help you. They are psychic beings, 100%. 100%. I love that take. By the way, Blood Moon tonight. Blood Moon tonight. If you could see it, go check it out. Please take a picture of it. I got a Tia said I got to look into the community post. I have to do that. I have to set some time. If you get a picture of the Blood Moon, I know you want to see the Blood Moon. We're not going to see it here. We got a big snowstorm. I'm super bummed. My kids are bummed. We all wanted to see the Blood Moon. So if you get a chance to see it, wherever you are in the world, my comrades in the Netherlands or in America or Australia, UK, Canada, Mexico, anywhere. Oh, and 2 Aussie pups. Cats, chicken, giant snails, guppies. Oh man, that sounds like a carnival in itself. I know. Okay. All right, guys. That's it for tonight. Much love, respect. Please don't forget this. This is the one thing. Just take it with you. Repeat it after me. This is so crucial. If you knew you were 100 rejections away from your dream, think about how excited you would be every time someone told you no. Much love. Thank you, mods. Thank you, Orion. Thank you, Pink Fur. Thank you to everybody supporting the channel. Peace.